Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 2, Week 5 of Rocket Rush, sponsored by Nameless Esports in partnership with Trophy AI, True Media, and I think newly announced, I'm not sure if it's been announced, but now League Trolley. We are happy to be bringing this broadcast for you. I am your host, Hyper, joined by Bruin Boss. Bruin, how are you feeling today?
Hyper, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling even better that El Salvador had the sweep earlier today to send them to day 2. I mean, it's been a great day of Rocket League here with Nameless.
Yeah, we've had a lot of success so far. We'll see who can keep that success going. We are sponsored, of course, by Trophy AI. Don't get caught putting hundreds of hours, wasting boosts and not realizing it, missing scoring opportunities and not realizing it. You can try this Trophy AI for 7 days for free, and your first month you can get 12% off with code Nameless. So give it a try if you're a pro player. Maybe you're in the tournament and you're hoping to go a little further and you need all the tools to help you out. So Trophy AI is that tool. But we are looking forward to our opening matchup, which I believe is SPK, our reigning #1 ranked team in the Nameless Season 2 standings. That would be Soku, Cure, and Pokey. They are going to be taking on Frenglish. So Frenglish, I believe, is a new name, but SPK is for sure not a new name. They took Season 1 pretty heftily, and they've been in contention ever since then in the coming 3 weeks. But other teams right on their coattails, of course, Shebang, Rentsdu, Waifu Warriors, Tarnish, which is back at his Aspect, Dre, and Reset. Shawnee State, I think Knoxvis is back. I'm not sure. I haven't had a good chance to scan the bracket, but for sure, teams further down the scoreboard are back, like Rain Esports, Moon Barrett, and Killer RL. A lot of returning teams we're always excited to see.
Absolutely, Hyper. And every game in this tournament, every series will always be changing the standings. Whether SPK loses in the first round or whether they make it to the 4th round, you're going to see those fluctuations in the standings. Like you said, a lot of teams are returning for this week's edition of Rocket Rush, but even some teams that aren't even on the standings list could make a huge impact tonight if they can get far in this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I may have spoke a little too soon. I don't think SPK's game has been confirmed yet, but we will keep an eye on that. For sure, the Frenglish have sweeped their round 1 opponents in Tarnished Academy D. Tarnished, a little bit of a story, bringing a couple of teams. I think, what did we see? Maybe 5 teams total. They have their main Academy C. I see Academy A. So Tarnish coming in, they're wanting to start and storm the standings here midway through the season 2.
It's kind of funny talking a little bit about Frenglish. What I'm seeing right now, they compete in a lot of D-tier like circuits like the Genesis Cup, and they also participate quite a bit in Frost Esports, who we've done some collaborations with. They are a solid roster. They're pretty well known in some lower tournaments like Nameless and Frost and the Genesis Cup. So they're a D-tier team, and of course they're playing the #1 team currently in the Rocket Rush standings. I think anything can happen in this series. But, Hyper, who do you have taking this series coming up?
Assuming SPK advances, I would favor them. I know we've had certified Unks play with us as well, which is the team contending SPK in the first round. But SPK is they're that constant team. They always make it deeper. You always see them in at least the losers semis or the losers quarterfinals, and that's they consider that a disappointment. Where for some teams that's an achievement. So I would have to just favor SPK. Willing they make it through the first round, and you have to consider them a tournament favorite too.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. I think SPK is going to get through this Frenglish squad with ease. I know Frenglish, their team consists of True, Yoko, and Swoofy. And Swoofy's a name that us at Nameless know very well. He's participated in many of our tournaments. He's a solid player, but I don't think it's going to be enough to get past SPK.
Yeah, Swoofy, I can't remember the lineup he had or the name of that lineup, but we've definitely seen a lot of his name in these Rocket Rushes. But yeah, it's always exciting to see which name will stand out. Obviously, Rain Esports has made deep runs, seeing them make it through in the bracket in their first round against Cluckety Esports. I like that name, Cluckety. But Yeah, a lot of solid rosters, and again, it's good to see these rosters keep returning.
Yeah, and you know what's the craziest thing? We're kind of touching on Tarnished Esports a little bit earlier. The way the bracket is situated, there's currently a possibility where Tarnished may play each other in multiple rounds. So for a great example right now, the round 2 winners bracket has Tarnished White playing against Tarnished. So you know, you got a little bit of inter academy games going on, and I think the winner of that series will play the winner of Placeholder and Tarnished Academy C. So there's a lot of
for sure.
Yeah, oh for sure. So you're going to see a lot of intertwined academy games between these two squads, and actually really the 4 squads. There's 4 different squads who are repping the Tarnished Academy name. I know the Tarnished Academy D team has already lost their series. Tarnished White is advancing off of a DQ, but both the teams DQ'd, so I think it was just a coin flip for them to advance. But Tarnished won, the OG Tarnished team won off a DQ, and the Tarnished C team won against DQ, and I believe they're down 1 against Placeholder currently in the series. So Tarnished White and Tarnished are facing off in that round 2, and the winner of that will play the winner of the Placeholder Tarnished Academy C series. So I'll make a lot of academy games, and that winner of that series will be on stream in the winter semifinals. So something to look out for in this bracket. Obviously, Leve Esports also advanced off of a DQ. Another team that's been pretty prevalent in the standings here in Rocket Rush. I know Noctic is also advanced off of a DQ. So quite a few teams that are already making a difference on the standings, advancing to the second round and trying to build up their point totals for the end of the season.
Yeah, and like we said, Tarnish taking over the bracket this week specifically, but they do have 2 teams in the top 11 standings. They have that Tarn C team who placed very well in week 3. They got themselves 12 points, put them in number 11, and then of course Tarnish, the main roster, Aspect Dre and Reset, did very well last week in giving themselves 20 points. So they're just looking to, you know, maybe get a couple teams in the season end final.
Yeah, and you know, according to Start GG, SPK just came through with the sweep against Certified Unks 2-0 and will face Franglish coming up.
There we go, beautiful. SPK, another you know, nameless roster that we've known, but you can't count anybody out. You were just pointing out some of the credentials of some of these players, and especially Sawufi. You know, that's why you gotta stay on your toes if you're SPK. They know what it's like, though. You know, they had that season 1 victory, but they know what it's like to kind of get knocked down by a, you know, strong team that hasn't quite made waves in this tournament circuit yet, but comes out of the scene all of a sudden. So they've got to be definitely strong.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this SBK team, they just handled that team, Certified Unks, with no problems at all. And I think it's going to be a huge advantage for them, especially getting to play their first game. I feel, don't forget, the Franglish played against a Academy D team, the Tarnished Academy D team. So you're probably getting players who are in low champ, maybe mid champ, I believe, in that. I don't think you're getting anyone higher than that. So that's that's an easy start for Franglish. They easily swept. Then you have SBK, who played Certified Unks, and from what we hear, Certified Unks is a pretty quality team. So coming in to play against a team for the Franglish, who haven't played such a difficult opponent, I think is going to give SBK another leg up.
Yeah, I'm just looking deeper in the bracket for SPK specifically being the number 1 team. It looks like they are favored. I'd favor them in their bracket all the way up until at least the semifinal, depending on what team comes from the top side of the bracket. Obviously, Rain Esports and Placeholder, the 2 names I would keep an eye on in the top side of the bracket. Obviously, Placeholder 2-0ing Tarnished Academy C. They are ranked above them in the total rankings, I believe. No, they are actually number 13. They, coming back, they placed well week 1, but they're a team that are always, you know, like we said with SPK, getting knocked down by a team that you're not quite, you know, giving the flowers that you should. Placeholder is one of those teams.
Yeah, and looking forward, also, we were talking about Placeholder. They just beat the Tarnished Academy C team 2-0. You know, they're going to play the Tarnished A squad. Do you feel that there's going to be a little bit of flashback from the Tarnished squad in that game? It's going to be some pushback?
From the main squad, I do believe so. It's going to be a test for them. Obviously, that would be the winner's semifinal. So like I was saying, that's where SPK would probably start to meet their most stringent competition, or excuse me, that would be in the winners final. Now that I'm looking at the bracket, they would meet that side. So
Yeah,
I believe
absolutely.
that's where SPK would be tested.
I agree with you 100%. I think the later stages are when SPK is going, like, just like you said, that's going to be the difficult decision. Like, that's going to be the rough one for them. But again, there's teams coming up through the bracket so far. A great one that we haven't talked too much about is Splash Esports. They're playing still in their first round, but Splash is predicted to go pretty far into this tournament, and I think that's going to be SPK's first loss.
Ooh, I forgot about Splash. Yeah, of course, Naya and Polar coming back in the Nameless roster. Oh, yeah, of course, I forgot about them. So that will be their biggest competition. You have to assume that they've moved past that round one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's going to be a serious series, and then I really think Splash will end up playing Placeholder, and I really think Placeholder is the best team in this tournament tonight. I really do. I think Placeholder is going to get through. I really do. I think it's going to be Splash and Placeholder. I think that's going to be the winner's final. I think Placeholder will win the first series. Splash will go down to the loser final, beat SPK again, and then I think Placeholder is going to win the whole thing. I really do. I do.
Yeah, Placeholder going up against Tarnish. We mentioned the rankings there. And yeah, like we were saying, we're going to go into the SPK and Frenglish match shortly. We just got word getting that match set up. But yeah, that Splash definitely throws a wrench into a lot of the plans that teams had going into this tournament, because they're just kind of the final boss.
Yeah, and again, though, that's the one thing about Rocket League. Anything can happen. It really comes down to, it's a game of chance. It's the best 2 out of 3. Anything can happen here as we get underway.
Now it's going to be the side of SPK, like we said, Soku, Cure, and Pokey against the Frenglish and Sawufi. I'm going to call that Trippo and Yoko. Believe so, but it'll be Cure having the first decent chance of control. Yoko is good to stand at the post defense there, and a nice streaking defensive play by Sawufi. Kill that chance for SPK. Now Yoko gets it just as far. Oh, actually a miss there from the side of, I believe that was Cure flying past it. Now Soku sees get the bump, but 2 demos come in big, and the net is wide open. Trippo getting the first goal in for Frenglish.
What a goal for Trippo. 1-2 big time demos in front of that net, and the Frenglish take the lead 1-0, and an awesome celebration from them.
Yeah, that's going to be a big test from SPK, as we were talking them up before the game got going. So seeing this type of adversity just in the opening minute is going to be worrying signs for them. Obviously, they are poised enough, as Sawufi is, to make the defensive stand. Soku pressuring the defense for the clear, and a bump will give Cure the space to take this up the wall. Gets it past one defender, and Trippo kind of doesn't get the touch he wanted, as Pokey was lurking over top. Soku now getting good control on the ball to take it as far as he can into the corner, get some help from Cure there to stop the offensive push.
Frenglish continuing to pound away at the zone. Up high is Swiffy trying to play this one back. He cannot, but Yoko will push forward, and Poke denies it. Up on the side, here's Twippo getting this one to the middle here, and it's Swoofy off the crossbar, and he can't finish it. The ball is loose, and Poke will clear it to the corner. Yoko and Poke battling on the corner, and it will come out with Poke. Trippo pushing forward, and with TikTok Soku on the outside, centering this one. It's Cure who will send it all the way down the field, trying to get a touch, and Yoko will get a great hit to deny him of anything. On the outside, there's Trippo trying to get a nice touch, and Cure will touch this one to the wall. So many demos so far in this game. Soku on the ceiling, can't get anything. Poke knocked down in the middle by Trippo. Trippo on the outside, and Soku will send this one all the way down to the Frenglish zone.
It looks like a awkward touch there from Yoko, but he had a SPK player on the back of his neck, so he just had to get a touch. Make sure the shot didn't come in, as that's a dangerous chance there for Frenglish. Now as Pokey's trying to get the counterattack going, has Soku trying to clear a lane in front of him. Total fullback, letting the running back with the ball go past him. That's going to trickle on net, but not too much for Sawufi. Send it aside. Now Trippo's going to put it in midfield. Pokey trying to send that to his teammate in the corner, but has to pull up the wall as the opposing player was starting to bear down on the ball. Kira now is going to chase that, put a hand up for the play as Trippo gets a quite touch, but it was really about Yoko getting the clear behind him. Now Sawufi sends it forward to Trippo. Now this is a good chance for Frenglish to get some insurance on this lead, but it only goes as far as the top of the box now as Soku will get a clear, hopefully finding Poke downfield.
Up on the inside here is Soku, and centering that one to Poke, and he's just too far out in front of it. On the outside, Cure with a great touch over to Treppo. Treppo on the outside, nice touch. Can he finish it? He cannot, and Poke will miss that one, but it didn't matter. On the outside, Swoofy centering ball, and it's denied by Poke. Yoko pushing back with Swoofy, the speed flip on the wall. Treppo. And this ball is cleared by Cure. Yoko in the air, it's centered to Poke. Poke flipping this one up, trying to make something. And Swoopy able to clear this ball out of the zone. Back and forth so far in this game, a 1-0 Franglish lead. Yoko centering this ball, and Swoopy able to touch it to his own corner. Swoopy pushing forward. He's denied by Poke off the ceiling. On the outside is Trippo. Trippo can't center this ball, but Cure will send it back into his offensive zone. Tons of back and forth between these two teams as this ball is staying within the neutral zone. A huge demo on Swoofy in the middle, and will give Cure so much time to get a clear. Cure to Poke. Poke unable to get a hit. Final minute remaining in this one with the Franglish taking the lead. Up in the air is Poke. Poke hitting this one back into the zone is Cure. Cure up on the ceiling. He doesn't have much boost to do anything. Cure flip reset. Can't get it. Swoofy hitting it back into the offensive zone. Again, a lot of back and forth play between these two teams. Poke hits it in the air to Cure. Cure with Swoofy. Swoofy winning that 50 challenge, and Poke will clear it to the left side. Poke can't clear it out of the zone, and it will stay in, and the Franglish continue to pound away in the offensive zone. Here's Yoko up in the air to Swoofy. Swoofy centering ball, shot by Treppo, and he can't seem to finish it, but a setup to Yoko, and he's denied by Cure in front of the net. Here's Soku. Soku in the air. He's got boost, trying to get a bump on Swoofy. He's unable. Final 10 seconds to go in this one. It's going back, and it's in for Treppo. And a 2-0 series for the Franglish in game number 1.
Yeah, hard to blame SBK there for just putting all the chips in the center of the poker table, but it will be punished as the Franglish take a 2-0 lead. Formalities ensue as long as SPK don't take a kickoff goal, and Pokey kind of missing the chance there. And it will be formalities to end game 1, and Franglish looking pretty good against the number 1 team in season 2. Like we said, they really shut them down after they felt the advantage and they felt they could predict the rotations. They didn't really need to take any risks after that, and it was good to see them kind of park the bus.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I felt there was a point where the Franglish continued to pound away at the zone. It was in the neutral zone most of the game, but towards the final minute or two, it was all the Franglish continuing the offensive opportunities. Even though they're not getting shots on goal, they're keeping the ball in their offensive zone. SPK had trouble clearing the ball, and that's what led them to the victory. Even when you're up 1, the best thing you can do is continue the pressure. And I felt the Franglish did such a good job of that, and that's why they won this game.
Yeah, I mean, look at those shots. It was 8 shots to 1 at the end of the game. Franglish coming out with all of the pressure, and it was kind of one of those cases that their offense was their defense, where SPK could just never get going.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we talked a little bit at the beginning about quality scoring chances. The Franglish, yeah, they had 8 shots. They had maybe a solid 2, maybe 3 solid scoring chances. The one shot SPK had was one of the biggest scoring chances of the game for them, a shot by Soku, and was denied by Yoko in front of the net. And they were able to park the bus and win this one by 2.
Now we're getting set here for game 2. Not over yet for whoever loses this game. This is the winner's bracket. You will just get kicked down to the lower's bracket. But both of these teams being of the quality where you know neither one of them are willing to just tolerate getting kicked down to the lower bracket, especially in only the second round of the winners.
Yeah, here's a great touch by Poke over to Yoko. Yoko pushing forward. He's going to try to get a bump on Cure. He does. Up in the air is Swoofy. Swoofy. Gaz time and space. A touch, and oh my goodness, a huge tip in midair. Ball is loose in front, and they're unable to finish it. Up in the air here is Swoofy and Yoko. Yoko gets bumped back to his side. Swoofy centering ball to Treppo. Can't get anything on. Yoko going to push forward. And what a fake by him, but he is still out of boost and can't do anything. Franglish Now in their defensive zone, Cure and Poke. Cure trying to hit this ball. He's going to hit a ceiling shot, pop it over Yoko and put him in a weird position. Poke centering this ball, and Trepo able to make the catch here, but a weird bounce, and Yoko able to get it out of the high danger situation. Here's Trepo on the outside. He's going to try to clear this one, but Soku with no boost beats him to it, and Cure on the side with a pinch. Trepo in the air. It's denied by Poke in the middle. Yoko clearing this ball out up in the air. Swoofy, he'll pop it over Cure. Poke, a great touch by him to get it to the wall, and Swoofy and Poke, a nice 50. Soku sending it long. Trepo, great touch to the corner. He's going to wall jump this one off, and he's got all the time and space he needs. Cure, great touch, a 50 that goes Swoofy's way. Swoofy back on the play. Trepo losing another 50 to Cure. Up in the air is Yoko. Yoko clearing this ball out. Trepo and Poke up in the air now. Yoko centering ball. Nobody there for it. And Cure able to clear this one back into the Franglish defensive zone. A lot of back and forth ball so far, Hyper.
Yeah, it's definitely a chess match, but SPK look a lot more poised. Their rotations look a little cleaner. Even though they're not converting them into deadly chances, they're still controlling the game a little better. It was very demo heavy in game one. You're not seeing as much physical play. It's a lot more kind of teams feeling out the gaps that are played out. And there's a big gap as Tripo's going to have to attest to that. Cure putting the pressure on, but didn't really have the boost to make a quality challenge on it. So Woofy's going to pass the first test there and has Tripo to help him out past Cure. Cure now has to get a big touch, and he does come through for his team on the defensive stand there. But so Woofy still on his usual antics, almost gets that one through, but it's the defense prevailing for now. Pokey with a good demo in midfield and a pop over another defender. Now he's alone momentarily in front of the net, gets a nice pop there. Soku trying to convert it. Not quite yet, but Cure does well to keep control. Gets another pop towards the net. Gets a bump and just does it himself. Maybe a fortunate bounce, but you can't deny the effort as Cure sees that one in himself.
And what a goal for Cure here. You see, he's just trying. He does it all himself, bumping from the corner, pushing it forward, and he's able to give him the lead.
The SBK enjoying their first lead of the series. Obviously a tight game one. Despite the stats, it did feel a little closer than the shots presented, although it did feel favorable towards Franglish in terms of how they controlled. But obviously a big swing in momentum here for SPK as they're starting to put together back-to-back offensive chances and possessions. Cure now popping it up and seeing a teammate streak for it, but Yoko was wise to that one in this particular time. Soku booms that off the backboard and gets a nice bounce there down as he's hoping to have a teammate, and it is Cure who's gonna come off the wall. Not quite the dangerous hit they were looking for yet, but they are wise to not let their rotations fall apart and get scored on.
Yeah, and here's SPK back in the zone. Poke pushing forward. Franglish and SPK have been at each other in the neutral zone all game. 50s between both squads. Some going one way, some going the other. But SPK, if you're just joining us, has the lead 1-0, but trail by 1 in the series. Poke bombing this one back. Nobody home. And Poke will score one of the easiest goals he could ever score.
A little bit of a gimme there for Poke. He's happy to see his team. Maybe I wonder if it was a bump or maybe just an overcommit that led to that space, but he's always happy to take the freebies.
Yeah, absolutely. Now the Franglish have to respond. You take game number 1. Game number 2, you're getting outplayed. Need to respond if you want any chance at winning this series. Here's Tripo pushing forward. He's got all the boosts he needs. Can't get the flip reset. And Poke clears this one back to the defensive zone. Yoko in the air. Great touch by him with Poke. Swoofy pushing forward. Yoko in the air. Can he get it in? And it's denied by Soku on the outside. Centering ball. And Yoko isn't there in a good position to knock that one in. Here's Cure pushing back into his offensive zone. Tripo. The best thing that SKG can do is park the bus. On the outside is Franglish. Franglish pushing forward with Yoko. And Yoko unable to get anything on that offensive opportunity. Poke clearing the ball. On the outside is Trippo, keeping the offensive pressure, trying to get something for the Frenglish with 24 ticks to go. Poke, an awkward hit back towards his goal, but they're able to settle it and get it out. Yoko sending it back into the offensive zone, kind of like we talked about in game one. The pressure from this team, firing one, and he misses wide right. A great opportunity there. Tic-tac-toe. Couldn't get it on goal, though. In the middle, final 3 ticks to go, and we're even going to a winner-take-all game number 3 between SPK and the Frenglish.
Good bounce back from SPK. Yoko would have loved to have that last shot back, as he had a pretty good look at the net with some space at the top of the goalie's box, but sent it wide to the left of the post, and it was maybe done either way. Obviously, you had to hope for a kickoff goal after that, but if I'm Yoko, I would have loved that chance back. Either way, SPK looking a lot better. The stats kind of lending themselves a little more equally across the board in terms of shots and saves, but SPK prevailing because they probably figured out where they were given space and where they couldn't get through the wall that is being put up by both teams in the midfield.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I will say this. SPK was the dominant team in this one. Game number 2, what a response by them. The Frenglish, I will say, got most of their shots in the final minute of the game. Other than that, I thought SPK pretty much ran this one. Like, no problems at all.
Yeah, they had most of the control. They were getting the boost when it mattered. Even if the boost totals look good, where everybody has 75%, sometimes that 100 makes a difference, and you see players of SPK stealing mid boost and making sure that they don't get their boost stolen. That's big when you get into the 50s at the top of the box, where you need the boost to make sure that shot doesn't hit your net. So they did well in that time.
Absolutely. Well, game number 3 between these two, it all comes down to this: SPK and the Frenglish. Winner take all.
We have a little bit of a UI bug here, so forgive us, but going to be SPK playing a little bit of defense to start, as it's going to go towards the net. And it's bounced dangerously over top of the goalie box, but they're able to deal with it for now. Again, bear with us as we just kind of refresh our feed here. So it's going to bounce towards Frenglish's zone, and it might be a goal in as Cure will score.
Yeah, I will say, if you want me to call Hyper, I've got the Rocket League feed open. I can at least give you guys some radio commentary for having some UI issues. But what a great goal, great transition from there, and Cure batting this one home, giving SPK the lead. Here's Swoofy. Swoofy in the air. Starts pushing this one to the offensive zone. Poke. Bumped in midair. A weird bounce, and Soku able to clear that one. Trippo, centering ball. Up in the air is Swoofy. Can he get the double touch towards goal? He gets the double, but it goes to the left. On the inside is Trippo. Trippo and Yoko. Tick-tack. Can't get anything on. Soko clearing back. Oh my goodness, what a touch by Poke! And he just missed a little to the top left. Here's Trippo pushing with Cure. Cure touching this one to the wall. Yoko beating Poke. Centering ball to Swoofy. Swoofy touching to the right side. Back and forth ball in the middle. Cure in the air. Trying to push this one. Trippo. Great touch to the middle. Yoko gets a clear shot. He scores! We're tied at 1!
Yoko coming through there as the pressure was high. Poke almost scoring an ESPN top 10 goal back at the other end. So that was big for Yoko to kill the momentum right before it started.
And a weird touch there by, I think it was Cure or Poke. No, it was Cure. Weird touch by him. He got the ball up, but didn't have any boost to follow it. And you saw that's where the issues were. Soke pushing forward. Double touch. He scores. What a response. And it's 2-1.
Soku, it looked awkward in the midfield here because both Cure, it looked like Poke kind of messed up Cure's challenge, but it was all about the communication. That's why you got to trust these guys at higher levels. Their communication is on point, as Cure knew what was happening the whole time.
Yeah, amazing face-off by both teams, the tie-up, but SPK got the last word. It's 2-1.
Ooh, almost a bump coming in there in time to wipe the goalie out, but it'll be Poke seeing that to Cure in the back line. Cure seems to be the person on SPK that can control the ball the best, kind of get a little playmaker to get things going and set things up for the strikers on his team, but Yoko is the one to set that up in the box. So Cure is going to watch Trippo hit that up above and kind of setting it up for Poke as Poke tries to put it dangerously on net. Swoofy will contain the breach for now. Soku will send it back in. Another missed touch from Trippo as it's going to send dangerously towards the box, and SBK trying to capitalize on the space that they've been given.
Yes, Swoofy, great deny there by Yoko in front of the net. Another high danger situation for SPK as they have a 2-1 lead. This ball is centered, and Swoofy, a crazy 50 carom going back towards goal. Yoko, a nice touch by him to pop it up, and Trippo able to clear it to the zone. Swoofy, the only man with boost for the Frenglish. Up in the air is Poke. Poke gets bumped there by Trippo, and Soku can touch this one to the outside. Soku pushing forward with Trippo on the wall. He'll get a nice catch, but Poke is there. Poke trying to center this one. A huge demo in front of the net, but nobody home to knock that one in. Here's Poke. Ball is cleared to Soku in the middle of Trippo. Popping this one over. Cure. Nice touch by him to get it to the corner and out of danger. Here's Swoofy trying to make a centering pass, and Cure able to clear. Yoko in the air. Can't get the ground pinch, and Trippo pops it over. He's still got enough boost, but Cure is there with more. Cure up in the air. He's now out, but he's got the momentum. Great touch, and Yoko. Another huge save by him in front of the net. Trippo. 2 minutes to go in this one. Up in the air is the ball with Poke. Poke touching towards the goal. Yoko can't get a good touch, but Swoofy's there. He's got boost, popping this one over Cure. Oh. Can he recover? He cannot. Trofu back on the play is Cure. Cure booming this one to the offensive zone. A great touch there by Trofu to get it back into the zone. Swoofy up in the air is Tropu, and he's unable to get anything. Swoofy powers this one up off the crossbar. Cure got a piece of it, and it's out of the zone. Center ball. Tropu gets a nice touch there. Yoko, the back with full boost, gets a nice touch. And Soku, another great save. Poke, unable to get a touch. A little bit of panic mode for SKP. Poke can't get this one towards goal, but he'll get it out of the zone. Swoofy in the air. Great flip reset by him. Another touch. It's denied by Soku, but Yoko is there to tie the game.
Chaos in front of SPK's net. They almost had enough valor to keep that one out as it was ping-ponging off the post. Pokey, if he just got to jump in time, but that's a hard thing to predict, it coming right off the post like that.
Yeah, I'm sure Poke is punching air right now. That's the absolute worst. An amazing save, turn tragic. We're 2-2 with the final 60 ticks to go in this one.
Soku's going to send that downfield for now. Tropu nice fake there. Sees almost two go past it, but Cure got enough of a touch on the ball to reset the rotations, buy time for his two teammates. Now Soku's trying to get a little bit of antics off. Nice bump there from Pokey, giving Cure a little bit of space. Again, I highlighted the playmakers. Seems like a lot of the plays circulate around him as Pokey was already on the ceiling waiting for that one to come around to his grasp as Soku wanted to get that skim off the bottom of his car and send it on net, but it instead will be Cure killing it, trying to get another offensive push for SPK here in the last 20 seconds.
20 to go in this one. Swoofy pushing forward. Nice fake by Poke. Final 10 to go. Up in the corner, it's Trippo pushing down. It is all Frenglish here in the final couple. Swoofy can't get it on goal. Soku, a nice touch to the wall. Yoko booming this one in the corner. It is all to the ground, up to the ground now. Poke pushing forward. We're going to a series winning overtime. 2-2.
Golden goal territory, 1-1 in the series, 2-2 in the game. Yoko gets the first look at it off this kickoff, gets it above two, eats a bump on his way, but Sawufi's there to collect it in the midfield. He tries to get another touch, but it bounces a little bit off of the danger line. Beats Trippo trying to keep the danger up for Frenglish in this offensive attack, but Soku gets uses his timing well on that flip, holds it to the last second to get it past the defender. Cure trying to keep it going, but Trippo stands posthumously to keep that one out of the net for now.
Here's Swoofy pushing forward. Cure touching to the wall. He's got no boost. And Yoko, a nice cancel. A little awkward bounce there. And it's going to go to Soku on the wall. Caught is Swoofy. Poke, a huge bump by him. And I don't know what Swoofy's car had a stroke there. Poke, last man back. And he's able to get a nice touch. He's got just enough boost to get it to the offensive zone. Cure trying to get a power shot. It's denied there by Swoofy. Up in the air is Trippo. Trying to get this one centered. Soku to Cure. And it's cleared out of the zone. Up in the air is Poke. Swoofy, a great touch by him. We're 60 into overtime. Here's Soku in the air. Great touch. Cure. He's got it in the middle with all the boost he could ask for. Can't get the double as it's cleared out by Trippo. Poke up in the air. Yoko, a lot of 50s in this overtime. Poke touching this one back to his defensive end. He's going to get this one centered. Yoko Oh my goodness, so many demos. Trippo fires and it's saved by Cure. On the outside, Cure. Huge bump on Swoofy. Poke to Swoofy. It's cleared out of the zone. And Cure, the man back. A huge pinch by Trippo. And that's going to get centered for Soku. Great touch by Yoko. We are 1:45 into overtime. On the outside, Cure, great touch, but he's demoed, and Yoko will go up with not a care in the world. Yoko pushing, great touch by Poke. Swoofy with the rebound, and he's unable to get it towards goal. Swoofy up to Trippo. Trippo pushing forward. Soku with the great clear. Yoko centering ball. Nobody home on that one. It's Swoofy who has to hit it from a weird ankle. Trippo pushing the corner here. He's got full boost. 61 boost for Trippo. He's going to pop this one up. A nice move to make Cure go flying. A 50 ball goes in the way of SKP, and it's Poke. On the outside, Cure. Nice touch to the middle there. Frenglish trying to get this ball out of their defensive zone. Swoofy sends this one long, and it's Soku will make the catch. We're a game and a half into this one. In the middle here is Yoko. The heartbreaker will be the team that loses, but the team that wins is going to have all the momentum going towards them in the next round. This ball is centered in Soku, able to clear the ball. Swoofy on weird fit, more 50s in the neutral zone, and it's going to go to Swoofy on the wall, but he's unable to get it. Poke trying to get this one towards goal, and Trippo, a great clear. I have to say, Hyper, both teams playing very passive so far in this overtime as we've hit the 3-minute mark.
It's going to be a mistake. It almost was one. There's a Frenglish player kind of misread a challenge that wasn't dangerous at that point in time. But if that happens in the wrong area or you don't have a teammate to back you up, it could be the last time you do it in this round. Is loser's bracket is looming for one of these teams. As Trippo would have loved to have a little better, maybe a little more boost or car position and get a flip on that, but it'll be Soku sending it off the left wall into the goalie box. Pokey getting a dangerous touch, but Trippo was there if it went on net to stop it. Cure now trying to power it forward, get a bump to open up some space for his team. Pokey waiting on it, sends it on net again, but just not between the wickets, as Trippo will eat a bump there again. Getting a little more physical now, as there was a lot of equal 50s that were popping the ball up in the midfield, and you know, the third man trying to read it and them poking at each other, but now it's getting a little more physical and they're trying to force open those gaps.
SPK pounding away at the zone now. Some weird bump. Trippo can't get it out of the zone as Cure went up for the 50 and he'll win it. This one's boomed towards goal. Cure, a great touch. 4 minutes into overtime. We're nearing the 10-minute mark of this game. Poke sends it long. Swoofy, a great catch. Swoofy up the wall. He's got it. Oh my goodness, what a move by Swoofy, and he can't win the 50 against Cure. Up on the wall is Poke, trying to clear the zone here. Poke with a catch. He's going to push forward. Flipping over, and Swoofy is there to save the day and the series. Trippo in the middle. Yoko accidentally bumping his teammate, and Swoofy is going to boom this one to the SPK zone. Here's Yoko in the middle, and oh man, a dangerous opportunity there for Soku if he was able to get that one on goal. Trippo winning some weird 50 bounces. Poke, a lot more neutral zone ball between these two teams. Yoko, Soku out of the zone, and it will be the Frenglish who will have to go back and recover on defense. Trippo, great touch there, and Soku, the only man on the wall. Another weird touch. Swoofy winning that 50 to clear it out of the zone. We are 2 games into this one. A 2-2 game. Winner advances. Swoofy up on the air. Oh no, bad miss by Trippo, and Yoko able to clear this one to the left side wall. Soku, a weird touch, but Poke is there. This is an unbelievable game of defense between these two squads. Swoofy catches this one on the wall. He's going to push forward. Cure is there to clear the zone. Swoofy had no boost on that one. Here's Cure, a weird touch there. Trippo, Yoko pops this one up. It's Trippo. He doesn't get enough of that one. It's going to go to Poke. More corner ball for these two teams. Swoofy demoed on the play. Yoko is able to clear this one, but it's going to get denied in the neutral zone, and Trippo is there. Swoofy with full boost. He's not going to push it. It's going to go back to Cure off of a weird bounce off the ceiling. Poke pushing forward. We are almost 6 minutes into overtime, an 11-minute game. Boomed long is Trippo, and it's cleared by Cure. Swoofy firing this one towards goal and is unable. This is unbelievable. This has got to be one of the longest games. Oh my goodness, it's Yoko off a crazy bounce, and Frenglish slams the door on the biggest upset of the tournament thus far.
Absolutely big names, but not a big lineup that we were talking about going into this tournament, and they just took down the #1 ranked
for the season. Big win for Yoko and the Frenglish. Yoko pulling out the hat trick. What an effort from them.
What a game. A 6-minute overtime. Unbelievable game. Unbelievable. 11 minutes that game went. And now the Frenglish, I'm telling you right now, they're fist pumping to themselves. They've got all the momentum going into this third round.
Absolutely. They will be playing 6s and 7s. SPK knocked down in round 2 of the winner's bracket. So they will be kicked down to play. It has not updated quite yet. But yes, they will be kicked down to the loser's bracket very early for a team of their standards. We said that at the beginning, that neither of these teams were expecting to be knocked down this early, considering what they expect from themselves.
Absolutely. So SPK will go down to the loser's bracket to face No Name Esport. I got to check with my director, see if we can have time to go to a break for a little bit. Nick, do we have time to go to a break? Or are we going to hop right in? We do have time to go to a break. We're going to hop over to a break. We'll be right back for round number 3. Our bad. He wasn't set up for a break yet. So, Hyper, looking at our next streamed series, it's going to be between Tarnished Academy and the Minions. Who do you have taking that one?
You got to take Tarnished Academy. Just them taking out Rain Esports, who we know is a contender. Not highly ranked as we would expect them to be for how much of a contender they are, but we know Rain Esports hits. So Tarnished Academy A, taking them out, I would have to favor them over the Minions.
I will say this, though. I feel the Minions, they're a team that have been with Nameless for a pretty long time. A huge win against the B team, but it went to 3 games. Typically, I think the Minions are better than Tarnished Academy A, but unfortunately tonight, after you went to town with the Academy B team, I don't think you're going to have enough to tank. I'm taking Tarnished Academy A with the upset over the Minions coming up.
Well, we were planning on sending it to a break. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Nameless Esports Rocket Rush Season 2, Week 5. I'm your host, Hyper, joined by Bruin. Bruin, closing thoughts on the last series we just watched, SPK versus Frenglish. It was tough to see the number 1 SPK get kicked down so easily, but it's still no rosy path for Frenglish as they have to get past 6, 7s and inevitably splash, we would assume, later in the bracket. But how do you like their chances moving forward?
I mean, I know you were saying that was like a rough bounce. That's the roughest bounce you can possibly have. An 11-minute overtime, and you lose in game 3 and a winner take all. It's a rough one. But again, I feel SPK shouldn't have put themselves in that position. You had a tough game, number 1, and you had a great redeeming game 2. But you shouldn't have been in that position. It should have been an easy sweep for SPK, and now they're going to have to reflect in the loser's bracket. The night's not over, though. They can definitely make a bounce back, but I don't know. The Frenglish are now queuing up against 6s and 7s, and I watching 6s, 6s and 7s beat Deep Dark, and Deep Dark's a good team. We've seen them a couple times in Rocket Rush. I think 6s and 7s are going to advance over Frenglish in a 3-game series. Now, this series is one we've been waiting on for solid 10 minutes, or give or take. The Minions and Tarnished Academy A. The Minions just beat Tarnished Academy B 2-1. The Minions, I think, are the better team, even better than Tarnished Academy A. But Tarnished Academy A just had a huge victory against Rain Esports. And, the Minions took Tarnished Academy B to 3 games. So I think this is going to be a really tight series. But I think Tarnished Academy A is going to pull the upset and eliminate the Minions, send them to the loser's bracket.
Interesting. I mean, if it's anything like last series, it was so well matched up that by the end of that overtime, there was, so much little chess going on in the corners and the demos that were coming out. Like we said, it was very hesitant in the first 5 minutes. And then after that, it was like, we're gonna let the cannons sing. So it's gonna be interesting to see well matched up teams if we're blessed to get a game as close as we did last series with these two teams.
Yeah, I just can't get over an 11-minute game, 6-minute overtime, and it was back and forth, back and forth. Just both teams played such great defense, and the way it ended was so unfortunate. Just a weird 50, and Yoko burying that one to knock out and make a big upset on SBK.
Another big note is we have players joining the server momentarily. We will have the game underway, but a big upset in the upper bracket is Placeholder getting knocked down to the lower bracket in the quarterfinals by Tarnished main roster. That is a big storyline as we look at the implications later down the tournament line, but we're gonna have to put a pin in that as we have Minions getting started against Tarnished Academy A.
Yeah, kind of like we were talking about earlier, you're going to see those academy clashes, and Tarnished might be playing Tarnished A after this series. As the Minions send this one low, XK centering this ball, and he's going to take it to the corner himself with A. KNZ trying to center this ball, and Dimes will be there in the corner to pick it up. Synth pushing down low, a nice pop-up by Dimes. He'll win another 50, but XK able to center this one for KNZ. KNZ, ball is centered for Synthe. Synthe can't get enough, and A is able to hit this one towards the wall. Wow, some really weird names in this one, huh, Hyper?
Yeah, this is going to be a mouthful. I mean, we get it with the letters, boys, but help a brother out on the casting department as KNZ's going to see that taken over by Dimes. I had a teammate in Synthe streaking for it, but KNZ now has to try and clean it up on the wall against a opposing player that didn't have any boost, and now a team pinch, it looked like, coming out of their own box. And what a start there for Tarnished Academy getting going against the Minions just after the first minute elapses.
Yeah, what a power of friendship goal. They used the power of friendship on that one. An in the air pinch, and it's a huge lead, huge first goal.
Tarnished Academy getting going here. As you said, Tarnished Academy coming in with the better win, but Minions maybe with the better record overall that besets them either way. Tarnished Academy joining 1-0 lead as KNZ was hoping for a lot meatier of a pinch off that wall, but it'll be Dimes to try and get something going. Uses all of his boosts to get back to it. It's not enough for Synthe. Synthe got it out momentarily. It's going to be a double touch chance there for Shadow. Shadow can't see it through. Now KNZ with the limited boost that he has to get it up, buy some time for his teammates to respawn and reboost, as I think it's the entire squad for Team Academy without boost momentarily is XK. Yeah, these names are difficult. I'm not going to lie to anybody.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of letters, man.
XK,
you just got A. That's the funniest one. You just got a guy named A. Like Shadow firing one, and it's denied there. Yeah, I mean, Tarnished A, man. Like, wild names. Here's Dimes, and A pushing forward. A centering ball. A nice touch there. It's in the middle for Dimes, and just too much to handle for him. Shadow, great touch to the right side. He's in the air with no boost on the play. It's going to be centering there for A. Firing one and just misses wide left. Shadow on the left side gets that full boost. A keeps this ball in the offensive zone for the Minions. KNZ pushing forward. Dimes. A nice pinch there. Synthe trying to clear the zone. He does, but Shadow puts this one in, and the Minions respond.
I think that was XK getting tied up off the wall, or maybe it was an adjustment gone wrong. Oh, he ate a bump is what it was. And I don't know if he could have got back to that, but he was the third man back. Either way, it would have been nice to see him maybe plant his feet before giving up the flip. Still a tough spot to recover from, as it was good work there from the side of the Minions to get the goal back. Either way, they're now enjoying a tie here with just over 2 minutes remaining. Now Shadow's going to get some control in the box, has some time to make a play on it, sees a couple players go flying past him, but KNZ is the man for the job this time around, as XK is going to see that go shooting across the box. Shadow isn't going to pass up that opportunity, squeezes it in off the post in a deceptively difficult shot. It might look easy from where we're sitting, but there's a lot of players that'll stuff that right off, they'll pinch that right onto the other side of the field. Shadow did well to control it and put it in the net.
Absolutely. a weird, in Rocket League, you see a lot of north to south plays, and it's refreshing when you see some east to west. What a play, just getting that ball right over the goal, and what a touch by Shadow. That is a very difficult touch. I mean, I think 9 times out of 10 you miss that, but a great double by Shadow, and the Minions take a commanding 2-1 lead. As Dimes is bumped in the air here, and Synthe, KNZ centering ball, huge passing play, and Shadow denies him in front of the net. KNZ, Synthe trying to get another shot. Can't get anything on that one. Synthe clearing out the front of the net, and A will clear this one to the left side, and he's going to pull a disco move with his wheels there and gets a good recovery. KNZ up in the air, demo, and they score. And Tarnished A continuing to pound the box with the demos.
Big demo. KNZ gets another nice little flip touch on it. Just buys enough time for XK to come in, clear the path for him. Now 2-2 game. As we saw, Tarnished Academy was really starting to heat up, getting the chances going after that. They've never looked out of this.
Absolutely not. And here's XK pushing up high, kind of fakes the Minions defense. Is this center for Synthe? He misses, but off the top left of the post. I think that fake was planned. I don't know if that was an intentional fake, but sure caught the Minions with their pants down. Out on the outside is KNZ pushing forward, trying to center this ball to Synthe, and he'll miss it. Another weird fake. A great save by him on the outside, and the Minions under siege in their defensive zone. Here's Synthe on the outside in his defensive zone, pushing forward, flicking this ball, and he's doing a great job to keep possession. Synthe trying to center this ball, and it's going to be cleared by Shadow. Dimes, a great touch by him, and XK touching this to his defensive corner. Can't get anything on that one. Is A firing one, missing wide. Shadow not going to get a touch, and passing this one to A. Another shot. A lot of great passes from this Minions team. They're working as a unit, and we're seeing this here tonight. Synthe clears this ball, and the final 20 ticks to go in this one. Here's A great catch on the wall. He's going to try to clear it, pass it over Synthe. Can't get it out of the zone, though, as XK sends it back deep. Shadow, great catch. Final 10 ticks to go. KNZ flips this ball towards goal. Nobody back. Shadow, no boost. He's able to get a great touch there. Dimes flips this ball, and it's the ground to say overtime. Back-to-back overtime games for us.
Back-to-back Ken's OTs here across different series now. It's going to be Shadow babying this in the corner. Waiting to see what the defense of Tarnished will provide for him, as it looks like we might have maybe a disconnect coming in. We see one of the Tarnished Academy players sitting still. Keep an eye on that. Yeah, it is Synthe losing connection, so I don't know if we'll pause it or play on, but for right now it is Tarnished Academy holding on just for the pressure for now.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately though, if I don't think you can pause this game. I really don't. As in the air is the Minions, and they can't finish it. But I think as of right now, if you're the Minions, you got to get a goal. You got to pound the zone, put them on the ropes here, as Synthe returns to the game. And a great defensive showing there. Basically put the Minions on a power play, and they couldn't get anything on it. Great penalty kill there.
Yeah, big stand-up defense there, especially at the start of overtime to set the tone for things. Synthe reconnecting. Now it will be up to Minions to respond, as they did not capitalize on the space that was given to them. Sees KNZ go past it. So now Dimes is going to have to wait to see what KNZ gets. Does not get the touch. And it will be Synthe trying to get some recompense for that chance. Dimes will collect it and send it dangerously floating towards the net. Seems like a little bit of the rotations are falling apart on the ends of these plays for Tarnished Academy, but it'll stand strong for now as Dimes sends it around only as far as KNZ. Him and Synthe will go charging up the wall to challenge this one. A has to play it carefully, as Synthe will get a touch on it. Dimes is careful, though, to wait for his chance to get a play. Gets a bump on KNZ as Shadow's now looking to send this forward. Gets a touch over the box. Doesn't quite have someone in the right spot for that pass. Is maybe just a little too quick to pull the trigger on that. Maybe we need to just buy a second or two, as that could have been the end of this game.
And you know, it's the craziest thing here on stream. The past 2 games combined have totaled 18 minutes between overtimes between these two. Will we get an answer here? It's Dimes. Can't get it on goal. Synthe can't. It's cleared out of the zone. by, I believe that was XK who got a piece of it. Dimes, great touch by him, and it's XK back. Dimes, another touch towards goal, and it's cleared by KNZ. Up in the air, Shadow, he can't get a touch. KNZ firing one, missing high, rebound. Oh, what a nice save there by Dimes. Here's KNZ in the air. He's got enough boost to make something happen. Sinthe centering ball, and A denies him. Dimes clears this ball, and Minions are going back on offense here. Dimes trying to make a bump. Shadow off the ceiling. It's going to bounce down hard, and KNZ is there to make the play. Another 3-minute plus overtime in 2 games. Here's Shadow. Shadow in the air. Dimes, a great touch by him. Sinthe on the edge. Shadow bounds this one down. KNZ pops this up. A can't get it on goal. Here's Shadow pushing back on the outside. Dimes pushes forward. Sinthe booms this one long in the middle, and he's bumped out of midair by A. Here's Shadow pushing on the outside. Dimes up in the air. He's going to get a great touch, and KNZ can't get enough of it to get it in the offensive zone, and Shadow will dump this deep. Here's A in the corner. A tumbling muffin in the middle, and Dimes wins that 50. KNZ pushing back on defense is Shadow, and Sinthe with the 50 goes the way of the Minions. A continuing in their offensive zone, can't center this one. KNZ, a huge demo. 2-on-0, he's looking for another one, and A was not there for it. A great catch, and another 4-minute overtime. We're about to double another game, and what a touch by A! Gets the job done, and the Minions take a 1-0 series lead.
A decides it is time to bring the gavel down. KNZ not clever enough to peep under the crossbar and get that save. A says he's had enough. Peep some of the stats as we get this, like you said, 4-minute plus game. Is I believe it was KNZ with 6 saves and a couple players with 5 to 6 shots. I mean, that was about as back and forth as you get. Just 2 armies lobbing trebuchets over castle walls, and it just so happens that the Minions are the ones to take game 1. That could have gone either way with the fatigue that was starting to come through at the end of that overtime.
Yeah, this is getting ridiculous. I don't know if it's the stream curse or what's going on, but 2 4+ minute overtimes back to back for us play callers as Tarnished A loses this first game to the Minions. And if you're the Minions, the only thought that's going through your head is A taking game number 1.
Yeah, they do feel a little better about that win too, just with the addition of Sinthe disconnecting at the start of that overtime and them not being able to capitalize on it. They'd have been kicking themselves moving forward in this series had they have let that game slip past, but on them to make sure it did not slip past them, and they move into game 2 with the lead.
Yeah, I mean, also Tarnished A, great defense the whole game. I mean, through and through, both games that we just witnessed that went to long overtimes, both of them had some very good defense. I mean, 18 minutes combined in those 2 games. Unbelievable.
Yeah, we're definitely blessed with some competitive Rocket League this time around. Big names. We're always thankful to come around, especially with all the tournaments that go on, the RLCS qualifiers, the Esports Nation Cups. We're always happy to have quality players come and grace our tournaments with their presence. But here we go, getting game 2 kicked off for you. Will Tarnished Academy be able to throw the second punch in this series, or will the Minions get a quick 2-0 victory and punch their ticket to face Tarnished main squad in the next round?
I mean, yeah, what a series so far. Back and forth ball, and I wonder if we're going to see that here. Maybe some slight adjustments from both teams as the Minions continuing to pound away early. Dime centering ball. Nobody home to knock that one in. Shadow pushing forward with KNZ. KNZ to A, the hero in game number 1. Dimes on the left side. Hits this one. Can't get another touch. And Sinthe able to touch this one to XK. A in the air. Can he get another one? He cannot, as KNZ clears the zone. Sinthe up in the air, bouncing down. Shadow, a nice touch. He's going to try to pinch, but some offensive pressure from Tarnished, unable to get it out of the zone. Dimes, a great touch. Shadow, the only man back. Is he going to get a pop-out and play? He is. Sinthe popping it over. Shadow pushing forward, gets the flip reset. Another touch, just too much, and it's going to go over the goal. A trying to fix the mistake. He's unable. Dimes firing one, and Sinthe, a weird touch on the post, and a great save by him. Shadow, ball is centered. XK, another great touch. A to Dimes. Dimes touches this one, and KDZ able to get this one out. KNZ, my apologies. It's Shadow pushing forward. He's going to get a bump after he misses the ball, and A can't get this one towards goal. Dimes gets a nice touch, and KNZ. A lot of pressure here from the minions trying to strike early. A bumped out of midair by KNZ. Some big bumps from him early in this one. XK pushing forward, hits the flip reset, but a nice touch there by the minions to get it out and maintain possession. Here's Shadow pushing forward, and A, the man in the corner, Dimes, touches this one to the corner, and Synthe able to get a piece of that one. Some back and forth ball game so far. The Donnybrook here at Neo Tokyo. The Dimes can't get a good touch, and he's going to have to retreat. Here's Synthe pushing forward. KNZ touching down tic-tac-toe, and A denies him. Shadow pushing forward. He'll flip this to the middle. It's A now. A touch to the corner. KNZ up in the air. He's got tons of boost to spare, and Dimes gets a nice touch to the left side. Here's KNZ centering ball. He's unable to get the touch. Synthe and A in a battle, and A wins that one. He gets a flip reset, but a weird landing for him makes him unusable on the ball. And again, some really great defenses. We're scoreless through 3 minutes of gameplay.
It's so interesting to watch the strengths of these two offenses go back and forth. You know, Minion seems to have that kind of tic-tac play style where they're finding tight passes as KNZ has to get a tough shot, tough clear there, and another touch to ensure the clear as far as the midfield. But you have the Minions tic-tac, you know, playmaking passes versus the Tarnished squad, who their communication really seems to favor deception, throwing in fakes, making sure that the challenging player is not the one that's obvious on the ball, so that the Minions defense has to reallocate a rotation or resources to Cynthia coming up with a big challenge there, trying to get something going. Is, like I said, it's just a chess match in between the two offenses because the defenses are just so strong.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The defenses have been unbelievable this series. As I was saying, that the caster curse. KNZ strikes first for Tarnished.
KNZ coming out of seemingly nowhere, as we've seen so many of those kind of floating alley-oop passes go up the box, but always seen a defender there to swat it out before the closing striker comes in, but not that time. KNZ scores the first goal for Academy here in game 2.
KNZ centering this one, and minute and 20 to go. A makes a catch on the outside. A demo from him, and Shadow will respond. The Minions continuing their east to west gameplay, and they will strike and even this one up.
Again, just the crisp passes coming out from the Minions. You could say it's a 50-50 chance, but a lot of players would take offense to that, knowing the style and the type of preparation and reads that go into 50s. So that's a big assist coming out from A there, as Shadow was just the recipient of a good play in midfield.
Yeah, and here's a centered ball, and Dimes, a really bad miss, but Tarnished expected him to hit it, and boy, some weird bounces for both teams. We were saying how good the defenses have been, and you know, there it looked like we were lying to you guys. The defense is choked on that one. Is a weird shot from KNZ, and a great clear from Shadow. Shadow flipping this one over Synthe. Can he do it himself? He cannot, as he's denied by XK. Dimes in the middle. Can he become Dollar here? He can't do it. Here's Shadow firing this one low. Dimes, a great touch. Tic-tac. A fires one double. He can't finish. Some quality team plays continue for this team. Here's Shadow booming this one back. Minions trying to strike again. Can they steal the moon in this one? Here's Dimes back on a weird touch from KNZ, and Tarnished makes it a 2-1 game with 13 seconds to go in game number 2.
You didn't quite believe it from Dimes' point of view. You thought he could make the backflip adjustment in time to get back on defense, but KNZ is just too cheeky with it. Comes streaking over the middle, sits it over top of the last remaining defender for the Minions, enjoying a 2-1 lead as long as they can hold on to it here in the waning seconds. This A is looking to do it again with a double tap, but can't get it past Shadow, trying to keep things going as A has the final effort. This ball has not hit the ground yet. It's still up in the air as the Minions are looking for a last-minute chance, but KNZ will kill it and secure the tie series for Tarnished Academy A.
we're going to another 3-game series. Strap in, everyone. Who knows? Might get another 6-minute overtime in game 3, especially the way these two teams have been playing. Their defense has been unbelievable, and just an unfortunate play to make it a 2-1 game for the Minions. Dimes on a half flip backwards just couldn't get there fast enough, and Tarnished Day made him pay 2-1, and it's a 1-1 series.
Yeah, again, highlighting player XK with 5 saves in that gameplay to go with the 8 for his team in total. So he really was the guy to get things going, get the transition counterattacks going, and he was the wall and the final boss that the Minions couldn't get past. So kudos to him to go along with KNZ's 2 goals, see them over top of the Minions, but it's not over yet. They've got to look forward to this game 3 and keep their defense strong and make sure they're not giving any space that they haven't already been giving or feel the need to make adjustments that aren't necessary. They've been playing good Rocket League. They just can't, certain mistakes that need to be taken out in certain places, and they'll see themselves, either team, this could go either way with certain mistakes, certain triple commits that came out, and then the other team capitalized on it. You could see a very different series.
Yeah, kind of catching up in the bracket a little bit. SPK knocked out in the losers round 3 by Deep Dark. So that I don't think they recovered from that 6-minute overtime. Like, losing something like that is detrimental to your confidence and how you play the game. And that was, I said if they beat Deep Dark, they're going to make a run. And unfortunately, just couldn't give enough. And they are now going home. So potentially tonight we might have a new first place team. We'll see.
That's very exciting. Obviously unfortunate if you are an SPK fan, but very exciting for a lot of the contending teams here, including the 2 we have on screen, as Dimes is going to send that just above the box. Has a couple players in net to defend, but yeah, highlighting the different play styles. Like we said, the communication for both teams is undeniably strong. Since they get a nice stop there and a nice bump, Shadow killed the transition attack. But the defense is really the tale of this tape. Is just who is going to break first.
Yeah, 30 seconds in already, you see Tarnished Day continuing their war path, and another weird bounce by KNZ, and the ball was centered and able to be cleared was Synthé on that one. KNZ forward and XK in the air. KNZ firing one, A with a great save. He makes a great recovery off the post. And we're a minute into this one, still scoreless, and the defenses continue to impress.
Yeah, he sacrificed the accuracy on that shot for power, which I don't mind. If you're going to have that much juice on a shot, I say take that type of shot every time. Zay's going to win a little bit of a challenge there. KNZ has to go quickly up the wall to bail them out of that defensive struggle. It's going to be Shadow trying to get the transition going, but eats a bump for his trouble. Synthé is going to send that over top of the box. KNZ streaking. Didn't quite have the angle. XK was trying to clean it up to set it in between the wickets. Can't do it. Now they have to fight off A again, who's been just a demon on those transition double taps off the backboard, but doesn't get to play at the playground this time.
Yeah, here on the great play there. Again, back and forth ball between these two teams. Haven't seen too much offense. I think both teams are playing a little more passive because it's a game 3 and a must-win game to advance. And I think we're kind of seeing that here as Dimes gets a great touch, but it goes to Synthé. He's going to boom this one long, and XK couldn't finish it. A great touch by A to get it over Synthé. And Tarnished will reset as this ball is centered and unfortunately couldn't be finished. Here's A, up in the air, Synthé, a flip reset for A. He gets a second touch, but sent to the stratosphere. KNZ is demoed in midair, and Dimes is the only one back. XK, up in the air, flip reset, is successful. Dimes, the ball is shot, and A with a great save. Rebound, Shadow clears this ball to the left. Synthé, XK to Shadow. Shadow pushing forward. He centers this ball and is unable to get it on goal. X and Z centers this one. Synthé, Shadow, the only man back, and continuing the back and forth gameplay.
It's going to be Synthé watching Dimes send that as a back pass to A. A has just enough boost to, fakes out K and Z on that one beautifully so. As he sees 2 more defenders, sees Dimes go past him. Try and draw out one defender. A couple bumps there now for the Minions. A lot of space open up. A third one coming through. Dime seeing that the house is just completely cleared, but A can't get it down for them to punch in a goal for it. as Dimes is again going to send a shot on net. KNZ there for that one. This is back and forth. Both teams tentative, but A again with another double tap attempt. He's coming in with a reset off the ceiling. Can't get that one to go. Maybe Tarnished Academy A is getting a little bit wise to his tricks. They have to come up with a big save there. Two defenders committing, but KNZ has boost. Decides to fake out one. Does well to open up some more space, trying to get a third touch, but the third man back in Dimes was ready for it. Nice touch there. XK trying to follow it. KNZ there to collect it, trying to get it up off the wall. There for Sinte. Sinte trying to get the first goal of the game as we're dwindling to the last minute. Both these teams are evenly matched. Bruin, what do you see happening here in the last minute?
Oof, who knows? I think just a lot more great defense, and I think we're going to have ourselves another overtime. I really do. I think it's going to be another long one, so get that pot of coffee going, because I have a feeling we're going to have another long overtime between these two teams.
Aren't they patient with it? Seems like Tarnished Academy is a little more willing to be patient. They just have to watch that they don't see a challenge go right past them that they aren't accounting for. Sinte has to watch that, and like I was just saying, affording a little bit too much space to the opponent can sometimes leave the ball in a box where you're alone with the defender and you just have no advantage and no space to get a defensive stance upon. And sure enough, A is there for that one. Dimes is there to secure the goal for them in the last 30 seconds. This is a bit of a backbreaker if you're Tarnished Academy A.
Yeah, you're looking to play your other squad. Is this one shot and it's denied by Dimes on the outside? Sinte A, great touch by him. KNZ, this ball is up in the air. Can Tarnished respond? Pops it over in the middle. They score! It's XK. We're even at 1 with 19 ticks to go.
XK says not just yet. Coming from the bottom of the leaderboard, was not having much of a say in this game, although he was the brick wall in last game. This game he decides to get involved in the offense, and just in time too. With 19 seconds remaining, we're all knotted up here.
Still a lot of time left for something else to happen as A is in the air. He gets a nice touch. Nice touch there from the defense, and a lot of nice touches all around. Shadow firing this one. No, it's denied by Sinte. Dimes up in the air. Can he center this ball? He does. Firing one, and it's denied. We're going. No, we're not. It's still in the air, but they're going to spike it. Overtime again.
Yeah, smart for them to just kill it and play the odds on this kickoff. Another overtime, second of the series. This one for the series win. Golden goal territory between the Minions and Team Tarnished Academy A. Is KNZ trying to get something going, but way too many defenders in his way. Shadow now trying to get that above one. XK now has to clean that one up. Sinte gonna rotate back, sees KNZ in the midfield. Now he can move forward. Doesn't get quite the touch he wanted. He had a look against Shadow alone in the net, but doesn't quite have the boost to get a shot going. And they'll have to reset as Dimes will send that in the offensive zone.
And A puts the finishing touches for the Minions as they advance to the next round. Ooh, kind of anticlimactic one there, Hyper. That was a goal that you never expected to go in, and what a finish. Minions, the team that prevails in this series.
Yeah, a little bit, like you said, anticlimactic, especially if you're Tarnished Academy. They put up such a good fight all series. The defense was reigning, and for them to make it all the way to that and see it go, kind of eke in, and just a misappropriation of their defenses. They just had maybe too much eking up for boost for the counter attack, and sure enough, right there, they get punished.
Yeah, and what a series. I mean, back-to-back 3-game series for these two teams, like both teams, and they've both been nail biters between the two of them. Another great defense was showing from both of these teams, and the Minions steal the moon and the series.
Yeah, good for them. Another team that we have seen in here a couple times, but just hasn't made the deepest runs that we know they're capable of. And like we said earlier, I believe at some point in game 2, I mentioned that Placeholder was knocked down to the lower bracket, and they're
still waiting.
Yeah, they're still waiting for their opponent. Rain Esports, another big name knocked down to the lower bracket, is facing off against 6s and 7s as Frenglish were able to take them down and move. They await the winner of Splash and Scopeman. That's interesting.
Yeah,
so yeah, very, very interesting.
Playing as the spoiler tonight. 2 series they should have lost, winning both in 3, and now they await Splash. Now Splash is a different beast. I think I think Splash is going to win this series. I really do. And coming up next, we have the Minions and Tarnished. And we're going to get to see the Minions and another Tarnished team. I think the step higher this is their main squad. So they beat the Academy team 2-1. They beat their Academy B team 2-1. And now they're going to play the real deal. So the Minions and Tarnished coming up next here on Nameless. We're going to see if we can hop to a real quick break. And when we come back, we've got some more amazing Rocket League action.
This is trophi.ai, an AI Rocket League coach, and it's absolutely crazy what you can do with this. If you've ever heard of ballchasing.com, it's a lot like that, but on steroids.
You can actually slow-mo it.
Gentlemen, welcome back to the Season 2, Week 5 Weekly Rocket Rush by Nameless Esports, sponsored by trophi.ai. Running solo here. We're just waiting on our other casters to get back and our other our other players to get in the game. But we are going to have Tarnished versus the Minions. This is the Tarnished main roster. You just saw the Minions take down Tarnished Academy A in a very close series that had I think it was an 3-minute overtime in game 1, and back and forth all the way through, close all the way to the end. So really excited to see if the Minions can keep that pressure moving forward. But either way, it's going to be final bosses all the way through, whether you're in the losers bracket or the winners bracket, because right now on the other side of the winners bracket you have Splash versus Frenglish, which Splash notably having Nightya and Polar, two big contenders, have RLCS placements, and even in the lower bracket, placeholders still down there, Rain Esports is still down there, so it's still problems all the way around. But looks like we're gonna get our second caster back in. Welcome back, Bruin. We're just setting the stage for this series moving forward.
Yeah. Oof. My mom made tacos. That was top tier.
The best excuse.
Top tier. Taco bar. My mom did a taco bar. So it was a top tier meal. We're back, and we're getting ready for some top tier Rocket League. Both series that we just watched have been unbelievable. Unreal. Defenses have been great for both, and now we're going to get to watch the Minions take the next step again. They started with the B team, beat the B team, then we watched them on stream play the A team. They're the A squad, and now they're playing the real squad. So stuff's about to get real.
Yeah, and I was just setting the stage that there's no more room for cushy wins. There's no throwaway wins anymore. There is only, you got placeholder in the lower bracket, Rain Esports in the lower bracket, Splash or Frenglish ahead of you after this series. So you're going to see what we're made of now. These teams are going to see what they're made of now.
Absolutely. And both these teams, they've played quality opponents. They've won quite a bit. And now is going to be the time to really show what you got.
Yeah, for sure. We got Kenzo in chat asking if it was Taco Bell. I assume they're homemade tacos.
Homemade tacos. Like my mom put out all the ingredients, and so good. What a meal. As A starting off with the east to west work just like they did in the last series, unable to find anyone open. As Dimes hits this ball in the middle. Huge demo there from Shadow. Shadow trying to get a good touch towards net. He's unable. Dimes catches this one in midfield. He's going to try to spike it, and A hits it away. Here's Dre firing on goal, and over to A. A to reset. Aspect, a great catch, and he's going to flip reset. Tarnished trying to respond after their Academy team was knocked out last round. Here's A. Great touch to pop it over. Reset. Aspect sends it deep into the zone to Shadow. Shadow in the corner. Reset, centering ball, and it's saved by A, the hero of both of the overtimes last series. Dimes gets pushed back by Aspect in the air. A on the wall, and Reset is going to try to fire this one towards net, but he'll bring it to the right corner instead. Reset, centering ball, and A is able to clear it out. Dimes pushing forward. He'll lose the 50, and Aspect sends A to the stratosphere. Shadow, weird 50, Reset, firing one off the crossbar and in. What a goal!
Tarnished just look way too good. They're controlling. A couple of times the Minions were caught watching. Maybe the previous teams they faced afforded them that respect, but not this team. Tarnished is going to take it right at you.
And what a goal. 3:43 still to play. A lot of Rocket League left. Makes you wonder what kind of adjustments you think the Minions are going to make.
be Reset having another chance off the ceiling there, but it's going to watch his teammate Dre get it past Shadow, and now A can send it back up to the aforementioned Shadow, hoping that mid boost spawn for him, but it doesn't. He has to just play a little bit of Hooksy in front of the ball. So now Reset's going to send it just a little bit past Dimes. Didn't quite get the power on that Reset, but Dre is there to contest the pinch back into the opposing net. Now Aspect has to fight off two encroaching players, and now a demo on the other end, and Reset has an open net to shoot at, but he can't pull it on net. That's one of those tough ones where you just wish you'd have known the demo was coming in. You could slow the ball down just half a touch to be able to pull that one on net, but it will be the Minions dodging a bullet there.
Yeah, Hyper, I gotta say, this ball's boomed, and Minions, Dimes looking like dollars, ties this game at 1.
Dives just jumping on the open chance there. A little unfortunate for Tarnish as we reach 1-1.
Yeah, I was in the middle of saying, the posts in this game, the fact that they added sound effects for when the ball hits the post, I think they just did it to rage bait us. I really do. Because it happens so often with me and my boys. We're playing a game, we'll hit like 3 posts, and we just want to throw our remotes at our monitors and be done with the game.
There's something defeating about the ping.
Oh, it's the worst. And the worst one is that you do it so much in a game, you're getting like sound animations and sound cues you've never even heard before. You got ping, pong, dong, like it's making random noises that you never hear. And it's the most degrading thing ever. Especially if you're getting blown out like 6-0, and you need 1 goal just to make your night better. You rip one, it hits the crossbar, and it makes that ping sound. The worst sound ever.
One of the more deflating sounds for any Rocket League offense is just hearing that ping without the explosion afterwards is just not fun.
It's the worst. And kind of something else defeating both these teams, the offenses from both these teams haven't been here so far. It's been all defense yet again. The common story and common theme of tonight. Reset centers this ball. It's Aspect who will send it deep into the zone, and A is there to make the catch. Dre in the air. A nice flick by A up to Dimes. Dimes and A, the player's back, and A gets a weird touch off a pre-flip, and Aspect will clear it out of the zone. Aspect flipping it high. A, great touch in the middle. Dre gets beat by Shadow, and A will fire this one at goal, and Aspect, a routine save by him on the right side of the goal. Here's Dimes and Dre battling forward up high, and Reset pushing forward. A gets the boost and the ball. He hits the flip reset, centering ball, and it's easily cleared by Dre. Dimes trying to catch it on the wall. He does and sends it to the opposing side. Oh, bad bounce off the wall there, and Aspect able to take advantage, dumping it into the zone. Here's A. Flicks this one up, pops it over Dre, and just getting a piece of it was Dre. Shadow back on the play, passing to A. Tick, tack, and Aspect clears it back into the zone. A. Up in the air. Dre and A. That's a fun name to say. Wow, holy rhymes. And it's Dimes who will get a nice touch there. Shadow pushing forward. A weird touch there, and Reset able to clear a 1-1 game. Will we have another overtime?
We've had like it.
Oh, it's unbelievable. In our last 4 games, we've had 3 overtimes, 2 of them being over 4 minutes. Dre trying to center this ball. It's A. Dre, A, say. Reset. In the corner. Centering ball. Aspect is there, and it's cleared out to the side. Dre dumping this one deep. 10 seconds to go. Shadow pushing forward. Aspect in the air. Dimes bumps him to the ceiling. Over in front of the net is A. He'll pop it over Reset, and I believe this one's going to another overtime.
It's such an interesting defense being played by both teams because very few saves coming out. Just a total of 5 saves across both teams. So a lot of the defense is happening in the midfield or maybe at the top of these goalie boxes where some aerial challenges coming through. A's going to shoot that off the back. It might be just open again as Aspect's going to see that roll right into the net. And for all of the effort and elbow grease that went into that game, Tarnish just gets a roller as the overtime commences. What a weird way for that game to end.
That's a bad miss. It's a really bad miss. If you're going to push forward, especially, you got to make sure you hit that ball, and missed it. Made him pay. Tarnish takes game 1.
Yeah, very deflating way for that to end for the Minions, as like I was just saying, a lot of the defense was happening in the midfield there. Not a ton of saves, even though the Minions had the majority of them, which showed they were
conceding the majority of the pressure. It was still a lot of vying for corner challenges and hoping that you get 50s to bounce in your favor, but just still unfortunate for the Minions that type of goal is what sees them off.
Yeah. Now we have game number 2 between these two squads. And Hyper, do you think this is going the distance again to game 3?
I think it could. I think the Minions have to keep some consistent, I wouldn't even call it pressure, just consistent control. You know, not looking as, I didn't even realize my camera is pointed to the sky high. Just making sure they're cleaning things up and not leaving too much space for Tarnish to get advantages of them on the outside.
Yeah, space is a huge thing. And I feel one thing I've seen with the Minions is both series, as it goes on, space gets more and more limited. And I feel game 1 always has the most space. And by the time you get to game 3, there's none. They're suffocating. It's suffocation for both teams. And I think that's also why we're not seeing much offense. It's been all defense.
Yeah. And I've said it a couple times too, that Rocket League is not a crazy matchup game like a game of like basketball where you're constantly, playing offense and defense against the same player, but it does sort of work out that way. You have guys that are consistently third men, and so you meet the same players and challenges a lot. So sometimes it is something to just keep track of and maybe change a matchup around or have somebody streak a little more down the field against someone they might have more favorable 50s against, as A is going to fake out one defender again, just floating dangerously in front of Tarnish's net, and the Minions capitalize on that one and get a great goal for them to start this game.
This is the earliest goal we've seen on the stream tonight. It took only less than 30 seconds, 22 seconds. It took for the teams to break the stalemate 1-0.
A weird one too is just one fake led to the entire defense biting on something that ends up rolling in the net, but Minions' job is definitely not done yet because we've seen what Tarnish is capable of. They're going to try and get a second goal here quick, but reset, kick that out to the midfield, and it'll be up to A with his 100 boost in the tank. It's a nice touch over 1, nice touch over 2. Dimes killed the last defender. A doing it all himself in the midfield. Shout out Dimes demoing the third man. Minions have 2-0 lead.
That was disgusting. That was disgusting. A quality play from a quality player. A has been on his A game tonight. That easy. He's been that good.
Just in time for them too.
2-0 lead for the Minions. If you're just joining us, you've missed quite a night, and a huge save by A again. Rebound and saved by Shadow. And Dimes is able to send it forward. Aspect over to reset. Some east to west action here, and Dre clears it. Oh, what a touch! And Shadow makes it 3-0. Over a minute into the game.
Wow. Minions just turning a corner all of a sudden, finding all the success they were hoping for in game 1, cashing it in game 2, coming back with a storm.
When was the last time we saw 3 goals in a game, Hyper, from the same team? I can't remember.
Especially in the minute
first
time
round. Yeah, I mean, in a minute, too. And he'll only make it 4. It's denied by Aspect on the shot. Here's Dimes pushing this one over to the wall. A 3-0 game for the Minions. And if you're just joining us, defense is the name. Rocket League's the game. A misses that ball. Dimes 50 in the middle. Reset sends it long, and Shadow denies him of any opportunity. Reset centering this ball to Aspect, who will fire into the corner. Dre up in the air. A weird, funky bounce off the outside, and A gonna wave dash. Flips it over, and it's 4-0.
They don't have any answers for the Minions right now. I mean, still a long game to go if Tarnish can get some success on the offensive end, but right now their defense is just Swiss cheese, and they need to put a stop to it if they want to be competitive and keep this from going to game 3.
The floodgates were closed the past 2 series, and the Minions might have just opened them. Aspect in the air gets the flip reset, but Dimes clears the zone. Dre catches it in the backfield, and he'll send it forward, and Shadow gets it to the corner. Shadow gets beat on that 50, and it's going to go over to Dimes on the far side. Dimes hits a flip reset. A to the wall. He'll miss another touch. And Dre sends it forward on goal. It's a 3-0, and he hit the crossbar. Like we said, the most detrimental sound you can hear, especially down by a large margin like 4. It was a 3-0 also, and you couldn't finish it. Unfortunate. Dre knocks it down to Aspect. Aspect tries to center this ball, and Reset will get enough of it and be on Dre's car. A sends it to the corner. Dre centering ball. It's cleared out by A. Reset flings this one down low, and Dimes is up in the air. Dimes, a great touch to the corner there. Trying to clear the zone is Dimes. He's unable. Dre hit to the wall. A in the air. A flip reset. Can he continue? He does. He gets a nice touch to the middle, but it's cleared out of the zone. Shadow touches this one down onto Aspect, and Aspect brings it towards the goal, and A dives on top of him and denies. Dimes a weird touch.
Goodness.
A lot of weird touches in front of the zone, and A is going to send it back and do a full reset here. Aspect centering ball. Shadow, what a touch by him to send it to the left wall. A, nice pinch with him and the wall, and Reset in the air. He's out of boost. Great touch. Oh, ping again. Aspect will finish it. It's a 4-1 game with 1:40 to go.
The ring of the post will not haunt them on this play, as the rebound was sufficient for Aspect to get back to it, and the defense can't adjust, but still got a big mountain to climb here. Aspect's one ticket to punch will not be enough, especially with how quickly the minions turn things on. Tarnish have to get going, and they have to keep going. Oh,
and another goal. It's Gray. Hold up a minute. It's 4-2 with 1:35 to go, and 2 back-to-back goals gives some life here. And what do you think the solution is, Hyper?
Maybe they need to get more aggressive in the demo department. They're getting dictated to, even with the 4-0 lead. Still feels like Tarnish is the more physical, hit you in the mouth team. They may need to start taking a little more of the fight to them, as opposed to, clearly they've outmaneuvered them in this game, but Toughness does have a way to kind of eke its strength and its clutch gene out when it matters the most. So going into game 3, you want to start snuffing that candle of theirs out just a little bit.
And a great shot there from Dimes, and Aspect denied. He's going to push forward. It's 3-4. It's a 1-goal game with 65 seconds to go.
No, now this is dangerous. Now if you're the minions, now it's alarm bells. The sub alarm is ringing.
All hands need to be on deck, and you need to stop the bleeding.
Minions got to start Haram ball. Park the bus. Do not let any offensive opportunities happen, and just send it deep into their offensive zone. Reset off the ceiling into the corner. Final minute remaining in this one, and a game that we thought was over from the wayside is a 1-goal contest. Dimes touches this one, and Dre will get it. 48 to go. This ball is shot towards goal, and Shadow with a great save. Back towards goal again. The pressure mounting against the minions. Dimes hits this one in the middle. Shadow pushing forward under the ball. Dre. This will be one of the biggest comebacks we've seen at Nameless so far, especially in Season 2 of Rocket Rush. Dimes on the right side. Tries to get it out. He does. 23 seconds to go. Dre in the air. He'll touch it to the right side. A can't get it out of the zone, and Reset goes up in the air with no boost. Centering this ball, and Shadow denies him. 13 ticks to go in this one before the series is even. Aspect, last man back, sends it forward to Dre. 6 seconds. Out to the zone is Dimes. He'll send it deep, and I think that's going to be all she wrote. A demo. That's it. The minions hold on by the skin of their teeth and will win this one 4-3 after almost blowing a 4-goal lead.
Yeah, a little bit of danger there. That's a win you take with an asterisk. Big demo there from Dimes at the end. Make sure that wasn't a 0-second chance it could have got going for the side of Tarnished, but Tarnished being the last remaining representation for the Tarnished organization of all the teams they've had left in the winners bracket. I'm going to check the bracket. Yes, they are the last Tarnished team left in the tournament. So weight is on their shoulders.
Oh, wow.
All of the other teams, Tarnished Academy A was the last remaining, other than the main squad. They were the last remaining team in the losers bracket. They get knocked out by Placeholder, and Splash getting knocked down to the lower. How insane is that?
That was my final. So Splash and Placeholder, that was going to be my final. That was my predicted final, and they're playing each other in the losers quarterfinals. This is an insane tournament.
Yeah, that's actually wild. Frenglish, not to discount, their effort, but you take the name value of, Nightya, and wow, that's a big win for them. I'm really happy for Sawufi and they pull off a win like that.
Franglish is just on a tear. They're just on a tear. They're ruining lives. That's their goal tonight. I think ruining lives. That's their main goal. Take out any team that's in front of them in 3. They've been doing a great job of that so far, and I think the winner of this will play Franglish.
I was about to say, to center ourselves back to this, we still got one game 3 left in this series. See who goes forward. Reset having to pump the brakes to get past one offensive player in A. Now it will be Aspect to try and keep things going, but has a full boost Dime in front of him. Does great on 0 boost to stop 200 boost in players in front of him and to kill that chance. Great defensive stance from him, but it's not over quite yet. That's going to hit over both. Shadow with just the sleeper lob that gets above both players. And in a game like this, that's not a goal you'd expect to get in the net.
No, and Shadow didn't even get to watch it. He didn't even get to watch it. He got demoed. He was gone. A little floater, like a nice little infield single. And that's a 1-0 lead for the Minions, striking early again.
Big goal for the Minions to start here. Dimes trying to keep that out of the net. He does get a last-second touch to just guide that out. And A might have another touch. Dre with using all of his boost, but A putting it back on net. Cleaned up by Shadow. And oh my gosh, the Minions have really come to finish this off. They're not taking this Game 3 chance lightly to get back into the series and to punch their ticket into the winner's final. They want to play Franglish.
Yeah, the biggest concern for me going into this game was the Minions having a 4-goal lead, blowing it, making it 4-3. I mean, what does that do right there? Yeah, the Minions win the game, but all the momentum you just built in that 4-0 lead just evaporates. And I really thought maybe Tarnish would come out swinging this game early. It's been quite the opposite.
Yeah, it's going to be a Shadow in that challenge. He actually will peel back for boost and let Dimes jump rotation in front of him. Now it's going to be Shadow waiting on the wall, trying to kill it. Ooh, Dimes kind of could have been in a better position there, but either way, he'll streak behind A, waiting for the first touch to come through. A will throw the hand up on defense. Now for Shadow to clear it out. It'll be Dre and Dimes meeting each other right on the center line. Going back to A as he has 100 boost, trying to work it past the midfield wall that's been erected now, as it looks like Tarnish have stabilized themselves in this game, but still trying to get the ticket to punch over top, and A will see Reset just push him out of the way, being his own running back, fullback, all together as he just does it himself. The nice dime from Dre to get that play going.
Big goal from Reset, and that's something that could turn the tides of this one. I mean, I don't know what the deal is with the Minions, but they're prone to blowing leads.
Yeah,
As Aspect fires one here, and it's denied by Dimes, and he's going to push this one forward. Dimes up in the air. He's got no boost and couldn't bump Dre out of the way.
Commit.
Triple commit. Ooh, risky play there. And you have a 1-goal lead. You can't be doing that. And then I got to say, the defense from the Minions have been so solid tonight, and you hope they don't throw it away here just because they have a 1-goal lead. Aspect back in his defensive zone, trying to push forward. This ball is going to make a funky bounce down in the middle. Shadow, a great touch by him. Dre and Reset with the teamwork, and Dre gets obliterated. Reset on the wall. A pushing forward. It's denied by Dre, and Shadow firing at an open goal off the crossbar. What a read by Dimes. And the Minions have the insurance yet again.
That is a crazy good read from Dimes. And I mean, how many times out of 10 are you going to read that from that exact angle, pinching off the crossbar and being able to predict the speed of it? Dimes, the giant goal here in Game 3 with a lot of time remaining, but to get a 2-goal lead for a team like this who's prone to start letting leads slip, you want to keep your foot on their throat as long as possible. So we'll see how long that success stays with them.
Here's Dre flicking forward, trying to get a response. Reset. Fires towards the goal. Aspect, a great touch there, and Dre gets bumped way out of the zone. Dimes pushing forward to Dre. Dre, oh my goodness gracious! A weird bounce there between the two, and off the crossbar it goes. Here's Dimes dumping this one back onto the right side. Up the wall is Dre, and he'll send A to the stratosphere. Here's Dimes in the corner. Dre, centering ball. Reset. Tries to reset, you know what I'm saying on that one, and A is able to clear the zone. Yeah, literally. Shadow up in the air. I do my own stunts. Reset on the left side, trying to get something happen here. Make something happen here, excuse me. Ooh. And Dre continuing in the corner. The ball will not leave that left corner. Here's Aspect pushing back towards D, and Dimes gets a great touch, pops it over Reset. A great touch by him, sent it to the ceiling. Shadow centering ball, And a huge demo there, Dre. Oh, what a recovery by him. Aspect, zero boost. Down to Dre. And he centers this one. Aspect is not there, and Aspect gets parted out again. Here's Dre up in the air. A flip reset. He hits it. Can he get a triple? He cannot, and Dimes will flick this one to the side. 120 seconds remain in this one.
Be close coming down to the wire. Is again, even though Minions has the lead, you just feel at any point in time Tarnish could turn things on and get 2 goals, even irrespective of the evidence we saw of the lead last game. It just always feels like this team is right on the edge of connecting when they need to. Aspect gonna limited boost, keep that going in the air. Has Dre come screaming past it, but Aspect kept enough momentum to keep the challenge going. A doesn't get the punishing touch there. Now Aspect again with boost troubles, sees Reset go past him. He might have stole that. Maybe the communication falling apart here as we get into the waning stages here in game 3. I don't know if Tarnish is gonna be able to come back from this.
Well, we said that about the second game, and almost came back down 4 and within a minute. So 30 seconds to go here. Dimes centering ball, and it's cleared out by Dre. Up to Aspect, who's got full boost. He flicks this to the middle. Dre, and some tie in the knot in front of the net there. 3 players all hit each other. Dre bumps him out of the way, but no boost is Aspect. And the final 10, the Minions beat all 3 Tarnish teams as A puts the dollop on the taco.
That's crazy for them. Like you said, beating, what was it, 3 Tarnish teams in a row, 2 academy teams in A and B, finally cutting the head off of the snake in the main roster. The Minions really had a great run getting here. Just probably annoying from them. They're probably getting tired of swatting these gnats and happy to see a new lineup and a new name in front of them. But still, great effort here from Tarnish taking it to game 3. They had a good game 1 effort and stayed dangerous the entire time, but still, the Minions are the ones to punch their ticket to the winners final.
And well, they're facing the 3-headed beast, Frenglish. Now, for those of you who don't know and who are just joining us, Frenglish tonight was the first team on the stream. They played SPK, who's first place in Rocket Rush as of right now, beat them in a series in the second round. None of us expected it. All right. They also beat Tarnished Academy D in the first round, but whatever. Then they go and play 6s and 7s, who 6s and 7s are the better team. We looked, we did the research. 6s and 7s should have won. They took it in 3. Then they play Splash, and Splash was one of the favorites tonight. It was supposed to be Splash in the final, and they were supposed to play placeholder. What did they do? They beat him in 3. And now they're going to play a Minions team who just whooped 3 Tarnished Academy teams and is looking to win their first final with Rocket Rush. When we come back, it's Minions and Frenglish.
This is trophi.ai, an AI Rocket League coach, and it's absolutely crazy what you can do with this. If you've ever heard of ballchasing.com, it's a lot like that, but
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for our winners finals between the Frenglish and the Minions. Both these teams have made appearances on our stream tonight. Alongside me is Sporty, who will be taking over for Hyper. Sporty, how you doing tonight?
Doing great. It's another week of Nameless action, more points up for grabs, and with SBK's early departure, that number 1 overall spot in points is up for grabs. So if we take a look at the points here, at the amount that these teams are going to receive, you'll notice, with SBK gone, there is a lot at stake, and more importantly, winning this event means more than anything that maybe you could have imagined here. Just knowing what these teams are going into, because by the end of this night, we're going to almost certainly have a new number 1 overall team. Because SBK didn't get points tonight, so someone's going to surpass them, someone's going to take over, and we're going to have a new leader for Nameless. And, you know, overall, I don't think teams are going to care too much about being the leader. They're going to care more about just making it into that top 6 in points, guaranteeing a spot in the final, in the championship. But still, that's, you know, something that you could take with you. Not only winning this thing, but being able to at least put yourself in a bit of a comfortable spot. There's no such thing as comfortability, but a comfortable spot to qualify for the championship, because that is ultimately what these teams are playing for at the end of the night, is that championship. So a lot on the line for this matchup. Winner goes to the grand finals, gets a game advantage, and you have to imagine would be the team to beat to take the tournament.
it right now, but
Seems like we may have lost Bruins boss here. There have been some storms, so I wonder if Boston's getting hit with some of the terrible weather out here, as all of us on the East Coast have been tonight. We're gonna get him back in a moment here, while he'll hopefully be fighting the weather demons outside his house. We are moments away from this matchup, though. Minions, Franglish, and as we mentioned before, two teams that have maybe you wouldn't have expected these teams necessarily make it that far. I would have expected the Minions and both the Franglish to be top front runners in this tournament. As well, but the kind of run that these teams have gone through to get to this point has been nothing short of incredible. I mean, the Minions have had a difficult night. Their last three matches have all gone to game 3. They've all gone the distance against Tarnished Academy B, Tarnished Academy A, and Tarnished. So they've had to play the whole Tarnished organization. Well, almost. They have like 6 teams in this tournament. On the other side, the Franglish, their run just went through Splash, which we didn't get to see that match. I kind of wish we did, but that Splash team is what many consider the favorite in tonight's matchup here. I mean, that's Nightya and Polar. I can't think of a duo much scarier than that in a tournament like this for the for Franglish to have to take down, but the takedown they have. So they're going to be enjoying it here. While that's happening, Splash are waiting in lowers. So is Tarnish. So is Rockscope Man. All of those teams are teams I think that people had coming into this event as teams that could win tonight. So winning this matters not only to be in the finals, but to avoid having to face one of those scary teams in the lower bracket. That lower finals is short. It's a best of 3, as is this match. So none of these matches are easy. None of these matches are going to be are ones where you would expect yourself to be able to adapt over time. But as we do seem to have Bruins boss back, I think he's back from fighting the weather. Again, I was just talking about this matchup coming into this thing, the incredible runs these teams have had, and the scariness that is that lower bracket. There are some very good teams waiting down there that are going to absolutely take any chances they can. I mean, Splash, Tarnished, and Rockscope Man, all teams that can make it to the finals, all teams that could win tonight, depending on how well they play, and all teams that, if I'm either of these teams, I'd like to take no chances against.
absolutely, I agree with you 100%, Sporty. I mean, Minions basically had to play the Tarnished gang tonight. I mean, they started off with Yao Ming. This is another nameless team. We've seen it quite a couple times. Won that series with ease. Then they played the Tarnished Academy B team, and they won that one 2-1. And then we, on stream, saw them play the Tarnished Academy A team, and it made us wonder, you know, you take the B team to 3 games, how are you going to do against the A team? Well, they beat the A team in 3 games, and then they played the actual Tarnished team, won that in 3 games, and now we're here.
Yeah, we are here as well. The Minions on the blue. It's the Franglish on the orange here. We'll see if the French Canadians have any way of keeping their incredible run going after having just taken down Splash. Minions, though, well, they've had quite the run. We've been seeing them a good amount of times tonight. I think a lot of people have high hopes for this roster to do well. Definitely recognizable players, too. I mean, Dimes is not the first time we've seen his name pop up. Same goes for Aspect. And we'll see how things go. But it's a best of 3. Still a very short series. Another benefit of being that grand finals, of being in that top championship matchup, it's a best of 5. You've got more time to adapt. You've got more time to learn. You've got more time to recognize the situation that you're in. So there's a lot of advantages going to the grand finals, and especially going through to the grand finals by uppers.
Yeah, and Minions repping blue. I think this is the first time we've seen them tonight in the blue cars. They've been repping orange so far all night. Here's A clearing this one to the left side. He's going to get a double flip. He gets a triple flip reset, and he's now out of boost. This ball's headed to the middle. It's Shadow. Dumping this one deep in the zone. Twerpo able to clear it out. Dimes, a great catch in the middle. It goes to the left side. And Yoko able to clear this ball. Something we've seen. Oh, man, what a touch, and it's saved by Shadow in front of the net. A great touch there, and Dimes is able to clear it. You know, we were saying, I was just about to tell you, defense has been the name tonight, Sporty. Both these teams have been playing incredible defense, and it's shown. The offense hasn't really been too much. It's been really 1-goal games tonight, a lot of overtimes. We had the privilege of calling an 11-minute game earlier, a 6-minute overtime.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if you can really say it's a defensive matchup. I mean, it always is a defensive matchup when you have those kind of overtimes playing, because teams don't want to make mistakes, but we'll have to see how things go here, as it will be Shadow one-on-one with True. Will be past him and past Yoko. Shadow with the strike, and as soon as you talked about these teams struggling to score, Shadow does it himself. 2 defenders waiting, both True and Yoko couldn't see anything about it, couldn't see what they were doing, and it's the Franglish who will be down early. The French Canadians have a lot of work to do.
What a goal there by Shadow, too. 0 boost flick I think he was just trying to get it towards goal, you know, with no boost. Not much you can really do, but a great placement on that shot as Swoofy, trying to respond, is unable with a great save by Shadow in front of the net. Twerpo in the air with Shadow. He's going to get a nice touch there, and it's going to go out to Yoko, who fires one off the pipe. And Yoko trying to reset. Plays this to the outside, and Dimes will be there with full boosts. Great touch by Swoofy. Up off the ceiling, Shadow centering ball to A, and he's unable to finish that one. Dimes gets a great catch in the middle, and Twerpo spikes it down underneath him. Here's A, up in the air. Gets a flip reset, and Swoofy's camping out under him. Shadow, Yoko. Pushing forward is Yoko. You'll send it towards goal, and Dimes able to clear the zone. Twerpo, a great double touch there, and Yoko will pick up the pieces. Yoko on the outside, trying to center this ball. It pops it over Dimes, but A is there to deny him of the center. Swoofy keeping it in the offensive zone. Gets a ground pinch, and Dimes won that 50. Twerpo gets a ceiling shot here, and missing wide. A lot of offensive pressure here from the Franglish.
Yeah, it is, and this is going to be something that's going to be true, I think, for the rest of this series, and really the rest of the night, that the Franglish will be a team that puts you under a lot of pressure when you've got players like Yoko and Suwafi, who are such good individual players, who are really good at holding onto the ball and keeping it and forcing you to take it away from them. It's going to be really tough to manage, but you've been mentioning his name a lot. A, which I can help you out with, that is actually Clue on the minions. I initially thought that was Aspect, but Aspect isn't in this match. I think he's untarnished, so that is Clue right now on the minions, who has been doing a pretty impressive job at just getting in the way and really trying to make the Franglish work for it. The Franglish have done a good job at holding the ball, but they haven't really done much with the ball. They've had shots, they've had 6 of them, but ultimately the minions making these shots really not that worth it. Unfortunately for the Franglish, there's 2 options here for them. Either they have to play patiently and wait for better chances, or they just got to keep doing the same thing and hope that eventually the minions break down and give up one.
And the minions are a team that has been collapsing quite a bit tonight. You know, earlier tonight they had a 4-goal lead as this one shot long, and Swoofy responds just as I was saying. In the final minute and 30 seconds, they allowed 3 goals to make it a 4-3 victory for them. But when you have a 4-goal lead and you allow 3 goals in the final minute, 30 seconds, there's obviously a cause for concern. And again, the 90-second curse gets them again. It's tied at 1.
Yeah, it is. A minute and 7 seconds left here, and the Franglish at this point have to be feeling like they've got the momentum on their side, the wind behind their backs. That's where Clue comes in. We'll get the play down the field. It's Dimes with an effort, and it's off the crossbar and down. Will be True. One-on-one with Shadow. True, who has been maybe the quietest of the 3 on the Franglish so far tonight, will not be quiet there, as he's been taken out of the field. The demo in backfield. It's wide open. Oh, it's missed. A wide open net for Clue. How on earth can you miss that one in a game like this?
Oh my goodness gracious. A huge miss there by Clue. My mouth is currently wide open on that one, and 30 ticks to go in this one. Will we have another overtime? It's been the night of overtimes tonight. I think this will be our 5th or 6th on stream. Dimes back with True pushing the wall, and it's going to be knocked down by Swoofy. Can't get anything towards the net there, and they'll do a full reset back. Clue gets bumped on that one. True firing one. It's saved by Shadow. Up in the air is Yoko, centering ball. 4 seconds to go. Shot by Swoofy, missing wide. And for the 6th time tonight, I believe we're going to an overtime.
Well, maybe
True,
not so
Yoko
soon. It's still in front.
up in the air, and there it is. Overtime.
Oh my goodness.
Number 6.
I was about to be the most upset person here if you curse that and it goes in at 0 seconds. You can never be too certain with the teams that they've been playing tonight. But you said it, a 6th overtime. That would have been quite something had they scored, and you would have had to apologize for a lot of things tonight. But
Absolutely, and it's over. It came Shadow of the huge bumping play in front of the net, and the minions strike first here.
Yeah, great bump. Suwafi, he's been such a clinical player tonight, but it's really tough to be clinical when you're bumped out of the way by Dimes, and the minions have taken game 1. I really consider them the underdogs in this matchup, the minions, but they are a solid team. They've got good players, and they've got some experience. I mean, again, Dimes is not an unknown player to Nameless. He's been here before. But the Franglish are going to have a lot to talk about here. And I think it's going to come down to, as you said, that offense. This is a night that has not seen a lot of high-scoring games. These teams have been more defensive. They've been teams that have been focused on themselves. And the problem is, for the Franglish here in a match like this, when you have 4 shots compared to 5 of your opponents, you're not really going to help yourself all that much in terms of goal scoring here. So for the Franglish, there just wasn't enough volume of shots. They had a lot of their shots early, and then they kind of just fizzled apart. They didn't have the offense continue. So Earlier, I said I think they were shooting too much. Now they haven't shot at all, and they're moving from one end of the spectrum to the other. They got to find that nice middle ground, and so far tonight, for most teams, they haven't found that. We'll see if they can, or else who knows? It might be Minions who finally take a series 2 games straight.
Yeah, I mean, Clue with a great game, Shadow with a great game, and Dimes with a great game. Overall, great for the Minions. They've looked how they've been playing all night long. They've looked great. They've been playing great. Defense has been great. Great communication between the guys. And the Franglish, we haven't seen them since that second round when they beat SPK, but they've been getting through the bracket in 3 every single time. So we have not had a 2 series tonight. Do you think we're going 3, Sporty?
I do. I really do think we should be going 3. With the caliber of players that are in Franglish, it would really surprise me if they don't take a game in this series, at least. These guys are very good. They're very strong. And the fact that they only scored once last game should be... is a huge underperformance for them. This is a team with some really good firepower. So more goals, more chances, more like this. And we should have another full series.
And this is the quickest goal on stream tonight. Only took 6 seconds. The last goal that was scored this early was last series, and it was scored in 30. So there has not been a lot of early goals, as this one shot and Clue denies him in front of the net there. Yoko on the outside, centering ball, and nobody home to knock it in. On the outside, True. Over to Swoofy. Swoofy trying to center this one and gets the corner curse there and unable to hit that one. On the outside, True, centering ball, and Shadow able to boom this one out. Swoofy, great catch in the neutral zone. Swoofy trying to get a bump. This one sent long, and Clue's shot is denied by Yoko. True, going towards goal here. Firing in a huge demo on Shadow, but just not enough. Swoofy shot, and it's Clue with the deny. And that's going in. A triple commit there, and the Minions even this game up at 1.
Yeah, the Franglish so confident in their offense that they didn't consider the fact that they do need to get back on defense there. And unfortunately, while Yoko's the one who's going to be conceding that goal, that's on Suwafi in that position. He's got to do a lot better job at giving his team time. When you jump in that aggressively as the last player back, you got to know that it's not about scoring in that position if you're Suwafi. It's about making sure you don't concede. And Suwafi, maybe he had goals in his eyes, gold in his heart. Selfish decision, and it's a selfish response from the Minions, and one where Suwafi's going to be really disappointed in himself because that's a position that you should not be giving up.
And Yoko with a really nice shot, but it hit the crossbar and goes to the right side corner. Here's True on the left. The ball's going to make a funky bounce, and Dime's able to boom this one out in the neutral zone. It's Yoko trying to send a deep back and forth ball between these two teams. True to Shadow. Shadow firing one, missing wide. Rebound and Dimes, and he'll score. 2-1 Minions. What a response by this team.
Yeah, you said it as well. Taking some collateral here. Suwafi will be the reward. He's bumped out. It's a demo actually on the backfield as well on Yoko, and that really puts Suwafi in a tough position. He's on the back wall, so he can't challenge outward. He's playing for any touch that goes high, but without Yoko, who ordinarily be the player challenging in that position, he's in a tough spot. Now an answer. Oh, it's an answer, all right. True's back in. 2-2, and maybe one of the more higher scoring games tonight. That is a strong showing. We're only 90 seconds in.
What a reaction there by True, though. You see that huge Dimes demo there off the face-off, and it looked like Dimes was going to hit True, but you watch True on that replay, a slight movement to the left, and he's able to escape that demo and score a goal to even this one up at 2.
He said it as well, even things up. They may have another one in store. The offense still ongoing for the Franglish, albeit a bit of a misplay there. Yoko and Suwafi not on the same page. Second touch in front. It's a poor play for True, and it's pickpocketed by Shadow. True's going to be kicking himself for that. A complete gift. It was not exactly the most threatening of touches from Glue, but True's got to do better on that. It's an easy one for Shadow. It's cleanup play, and it's the lead for Minions. And in a series like that, this lead is huge.
Got to keep the ball out of those high danger areas. I mean, that True gave it to him on a silver platter and just had him blast it. And there's really nothing in the backfield that they can do. I mean, bad touch by True. Yoko was caught with his pants down, and it's a 3-2 game for the Minions.
2 game, 3 minutes left, and the Franglish in need of something. Will be Suwafi. Oh, doesn't get very far with this. It's going to be room upfield for Clue. Bumped out along the way. Yoko, challenged by Dimes. Will be Shadow. has Clue in the option. He will be up for it. He knew Swappy didn't have the boost to challenge. Unfortunately, Yoko does. He's taken out. Another bump attempts going in. It will be a bit of a mismatched rotation here. Minions unable to take it out. Huge block for True. If he doesn't get that, we're talking about a launched shot from the midfield there. And the Frenglish on very little boost defensively. What a huge save and a huge moment, and with half the game to go, it's those little plays, it's those little marks that are going to make the difference here.
Frenglish down 1 with 2 minutes to go and 2 minutes left with their time in the winner's bracket. Unless they can respond, here's True trying to get, it looks like a musty flick on that one as he landed and unable to get it off. Here's Clue towards the wall here. Can he get a double? He does. Centering ball for Dimes, and it's 4-2. Minions have the insurance.
And in this position, Clue was always going to hit Dimes. He's not planning on scoring from this position. The angle's just too tough. But True doesn't know that. He doesn't know. For all that he is playing, he has to assume that that's a play that can be shot on target. So he's sitting deep in his net, and that allows for the pass to come outward there. So good from Clue. He knows he can use the options here, and that's going to allow the Minions to take a 2-goal lead with 2 minutes to go. But there's still 2 minutes left. There's a lot of time to play, and with this game being as high scoring as it is, I expect a few more before the time's over.
Yeah, you know, talking a little bit earlier, the caster curse, we were talking, the Minions were 4-0 against Tarnished, and with it, I kid you not, minute 30 to go, the game in the final 30 seconds was 4-3. And it made us really wonder, like, are they going to blow a 4-goal lead? Probably one of the biggest chokes in Nameless history. And they luckily squeaked out 4-3, and now we're into that time frame, the final 90 seconds. Can they hold on as Shadow with a great catch and release there? He's going to flick this one towards goal. It's Clue who will pick up the pieces and unable to put it on net. Clue, centering ball, and a great touch there and sends it to the corner. Dimes sends it high to Shadow and competing with his own player there. Clue, nice touch there, double touch into the corner. And they are doing exactly what they need to do to chew out the clock and finish this game with 60 ticks remaining.
Yeah, what I love so much about the Minions here is that they're not picky about what they're doing with the ball. They are picky what they're doing with the ball. They're not picky on when they need to clear it, if they have to clear it, but what they are doing is that if they don't have to clear it, they're not going to clear it. They're forcing the Frenglish to make them clear the ball, and that means you're just going to force them to come at you, you're going to force them to use even more boost and play more aggressively. The Frenglish want to do that, but they need the ball first. They aren't getting their chances, and now they're all upfield. It's a shot, it's wide of the net. Shadow will hold, and look at this play. Slowly takes it. He doesn't need to score anymore. I don't like that decision, though. Given away to True. Not on the same page, and here goes the chance the other way. True under. It's Frenglish black, and it is a 1-goal difference with 20 seconds to go.
What a weird goal, man. True had no boost this whole time. Look at this. He had nothing the whole time and beat 3 players. A rough one there. And the Minions backs against the wall with 20 seconds to go. Is it enough time?
Well, it's surely enough time. The question is if they're going to make that time work for them. Swaffy, the caliber players they have, you think they'd want something. It's a grand final spot that could be played here. The Minions holding desperately and won't get very far, and Shadow's going to send them all the way back. Now they must play the keep it up game here as this ball's on the floor. Dimes, oh, what a smart decision. Goes for the challenge. It never comes, but he fakes out the Frenglish, and the Minions with a 2-0 sweep in the not the grand finals. They're in the grand finals now, in the winners finals. They're first in what has now been their 5th series tonight. Their last 3 series all went to 3 games, but this one will not, and you have to imagine there's some real relief for the Minions that they don't go to game 3 again.
Oh, absolutely not. You know, what a series, what a night for the Minions. Unbelievable. Playing 3 Tarnished squads, beating 2 Academy teams and the actual Tarnished squad, and then coming out swinging here tonight, finishing it. They're off to the grand finals. I think that's their first time ever in being in the grand finals. Don't quote me on that. I don't know if they've been there once.
It's their first this season, and that's really all that I think they're focusing on at this point, is that it's their first this season. I think that's all that matters for the Minions. We can talk about seasons past, tournaments past. What they care about, though, is that it's this season, and they are in the grand finals. They also guarantee a part of $100 prize pool, so they get a little bit of, they'll get some money, they'll get a large amount of points for their efforts, but of course, the work for the Minions is not over. They're eyeing that first place prize net right now, and the nice thing is they get to sit, kick their feet up, relax a little bit, and wait to see who will challenge them next.
Yeah, I mean, I got to take a look at the bracket here, and yeah, they've got a little bit of time to wait here. Is the Frenglish heading down? They're going to play the winner of Splash and Tarnished, and I will say Tarnished ended up getting bounced by the Minions. So if Tarnished ends up upsetting Splash, then we may have ourselves a really weird situation in the losers finals, and could potentially have a rematch.
Yeah, a rematch always up for grabs. They're always up for possibilities, but I don't think the Minions are going to mind it. But the fact that they haven't lost yet tonight, they know that anyone in this bracket is a team that they can beat. But still, their run is in the grand finals for the Frenglish. They're going to be disappointed with that result. Their offense just hasn't been good enough tonight. They've not been able to be a full-rounded team in this upper finals, and it finally caught up to them against another strong team. So they're going to go to the lower finals. They're going to have to play for a spot in the championship, and they're going to have to wait to see who they'll play. I mean, either way, it's going to be scary. It's either Tarnished or Splash, and against both those teams, the chances for the Frenglish are not exactly high. So they're going to have a tough match no matter which team they play against, no matter how things go. They're going to need to pick themselves up, return to form quickly, because if not, they'll be very disappointed, because a loss in the lower finals means you get nothing in the prize pool. You walk away with no money. So for all that these teams have done, you can still end up with nothing here if you are the Frenglish. And I don't know if that's going to be in their minds, but if they lose, it absolutely will be, because that's going to be where they're heading.
Well, you say something about the prize pool. They do walk away with something. They walk away with a ton of points in Rocket Rush, but again, it'd be nice to get some money. I agree with you 100%. Now that we're with Trolley Series, obviously our tournaments have increased in monetary value, and it's an unfortunate loss for them, especially not even taking one game. Like, there's really no positives for them going into the losers bracket, and now they're going to have to play either a Splash team, who we haven't seen on stream tonight, but we talked very highly about, and Tarnished. And Tarnished ended up losing to the Minions last series, and what a series that one was. But the Tarnished lost the Minions, so did this team, but Tarnished took them 3 games. They were close. Every game was within 1. Yeah. So it makes you wonder, is Frenglish's night done?
Yeah, you wonder about that. Well, we're going to get an answer to that question very, very soon. For now, we're going to go to a break. We'll be back with the lower finals here. And you said it. We'll answer that very real question that Bruins Boss has given to all of you. Is the night for Frenglish done? They've got one series to prove if they have a response. We'll see you all then.
This is trophi.ai, an AI Rocket League coach, and it's absolutely crazy what you can do with this. If you've ever heard of ballchasing.com, it's a lot like that, but on steroids.
You can actually slow.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for some more Rocket League action here in the losers finals bracket. I'm Bruins Boss. Alongside me is Sporty. And tonight's sponsor is trophi.ai. So Nameless Esports is officially partnering with trophi.ai for Rocket Rush Season 2, and AI coaching and performance tools endorsed by Energy Esports, built to help you level up your game. Use code Nameless for 12% off your subscription. And Season 2 is going to hit different. Use code Nameless for 12% off.
He said as well, a little bit of improvement maybe, but these teams are going to need to do a little bit of improvement to be in that grand final. So they might need a little bit of help from our sponsor here, because it is the Frenglish versus Tarnished, who will be on stream next in the lower finals. Both these teams have lost to the Minions, so we're guaranteed to have some form of a rematch in that grand finals. We'll see what kind of a rematch we get. Tarnished did take the Minions to game 3, the Frenglish did not. Both these teams are good, but they're going to need to be better if they are to win that rematch. Minions, not only again have they beat them, they have a game advantage in that grand finals. So not only do you need to beat them, you need to beat them a little bit more if you are to win that series. So huge here. Frenglish, Tarnished, and Tarnished, from the remnants that used to be Zave Esports. That org, if you remember that org, has a history, and Zaki will know this. He's the sub for Tarnished. He'll know this quite well. His teams have a history of making some pretty impressive lower bracket runs. So Tarnished looking to see if they can revitalize the lower bracket run here against the Frenglish. They've already impressed us tonight. We'll see if they can do it again.
Yeah, talking a little bit more about Tarnished, they played such a great series against the Minions. There was a game that they were down 4-0, came back, made it 4-3. Unfortunately, still lost the game, but Tarnished just looks consistent tonight, and I think it's the only team that can beat the Minions. Sporty, what are your predictions for this series? I personally think Tarnished is going to take care of the Frenglish with ease.
I really want to say I really want to vote for Tarnished here, because of the talent of players here. But again, I can't ignore the caliber players that the Frenglish have. I think if it's a neutral sort of game, I think that favors the Frenglish. So I think Tarnished has more work to do here. But the benefit is they did just 2-0 sweep Splash, and so if you can beat that team, you can beat any team in tonight's event. So we'll see what we can show here. You said it, Tarnished did play closer earlier tonight against the Minions. The Frenglish have looked flat at times, and if we see more of that from the Frenglish, where they look flat, where they just aren't aren't fully there, aren't fully together, they're going to have a really tough time tonight against Tarnished.
Absolutely. Well, here's how it looks so far. Orange will be repped by Fringlish, and
That's
blue
Tarnished.
will be Tarnished. My apologies.
50-50 guess, and
I had
we
a
got it wrong.
50-50 guess. I'm in Rocket League right now, and I'm trying to remember. Both these teams have been on the stream tonight. As what a goal by Reset! A great touch by him off the pipe and in.
Yeah, it is. Great shot from Reset. And it will be sent back in. It's going to be up the corner. Sorry, up the post and in. It's a little bit tucked into that corner there. The Franglish have been caught a couple times tonight going all in on offense. I think they realize just as much as we realize their offense hasn't been all that successful tonight. They haven't been that same consistent offensive team that we expect from them. And I think knowing that and knowing that time is of the essence here in a series as short as a best of 3, they need to be willing to be committing into offense. But the problem is, the risks they're taking on offense are just not smart risks. They're overcommitting, and what they're doing is they're letting teams take open net shots on them, and you just can't leave your net open no matter what you do. That's a little bit better, though. It's Yoko, and I was going to mention him as the player that I need to see more of. He has been flat tonight. He has been quiet tonight. And if there's anyone that can kind of take this game by the horns and steer it in the way of the Franglish, it's got to be Yoko.
From my side, I agree with you, Yoko. I think Swoofy needs to do a little bit better. I will say a lot of that last series that we saw made a lot of errors, made a lot of mental errors. And you saw there was a triple commit at one point he made, and I think he needs to step up. And I think for the opposing squad, I think Reset has to step up. So earlier tonight we watched him play, and it was like he wasn't even there. It was a rough one for him, and I think he also needs to step up in tonight's series.
Yeah, I think everybody on these teams needs to step up. Simply put, with the way they've shown that they can play tonight, there is no chance with the way they're playing that you can favor them against the minions. So that's the problem I think we have with both these teams. They're both good teams, but they've underperformed, and against the minions, they just got essentially they had their weaknesses exploited against the minions. So if they ought to have any chance to beat the minions, they're going to need to improve. They're going to need to look better. And I like that you mentioned Suwafi. It's been a weird night for Suwafi. You wonder if it's a mental thing for him. You mentioned that triple commit. I'm going to mention that overcommit at the end of the game too that really put his team in absolute trouble. He had an overcommit that gave the lead away to the minions. So I like that you mentioned Suwafi. He's the only player I'm going to see. He won't be a big goal scorer, I would say, in a series like this. He's more so of a support player. He's someone who's going to get the dirty work done, the 50-50s, the passes, the plays in the midfield to keep the pressure going. You're not going to see him, I think, score as much, but what you are going to see him do is he's going to try to play this midfield-based role. He's going to try to let Yoko and True have room to work. So really, for Suwafi, it's not going to be about getting goals, it's not going to be about being on the score sheet, it's going to be about being consistent. If he's consistent tonight, if those mistakes don't show, he's going to consider it a job well done.
Here's Aspect with the shot. True with a great save. Rebound, another great save by True there. As that one hits the crossbar and leaves the zone. True in the air, trying to get something towards goal. It's caught by Aspect, and he's going to take it towards his offensive net. Here's Reset, off the wall, centering ball, and True will send it all the way down.
2 minutes to go.
A lot of back and forth ball.
Oh, it has been. It's been back and forth. It's been end to end, and it has felt like a game like a lot of the ones that we've seen so far from Franglish, and that is a lot of throwing the ball around, but a lot of not really much doing it in terms of substance. We need to see a little bit more, just instead of just hitting the ball, hit it with meaning. It feels like so many of these touches from these teams, they're just hitting the ball to hit the ball. When you hit the ball, you gotta have some sort of a plan in your mind of what you're gonna do with it. It just feels like both these teams are kind of lost. They don't have an identity, they don't have a game plan. You gotta have something, because simply put, both these teams just aren't really all that successful because you don't really see what their goal is, what their strategy is when they have the ball. It just feels like they're just hitting it away and hoping something good comes from it.
Yeah, Sporty, adding on to that, rotation has been so huge for these two teams. The rotations look great from both of these squads tonight. Low scoring games means the rotation works. And you got to keep that up while pushing on offense. I know it's difficult to do, and you can't go all in, kind of like we talked about Swoofy doing earlier. And you can't go all in, but you need to create offensive opportunities. And I feel both teams have done a pretty bad job of that tonight.
Yeah, they've been great, as you said, in rotations, but unfortunately with the ball, they haven't been very good. The mechanical ability has been lacking, but here goes Reset, not looking to lack, and any play there will be cleared away by True. Dre now, bumped out by Suwafi. True again, it's a poor first touch. It's a complete gimme here. It's going to be in front of the net, but Once again, up is Reset. He's been all over the offense so far, Reset. You've called his name, and he's been there. 2 shots, 1 goal, but he's been everywhere upfield. Aspect will score here, though. He's going to take over up the corner and in. You love this touch on Aspect, but simply put, it's too easy. So what be the only one there, and someone's got to be there to help him. Someone's got to be challenging that. It's too easy for Tarnished.
Yeah, what a bump there. You talked about it a little bit earlier, the bumping from both of these teams. Franglish has not been bumping. The only time they were bumping was earlier in the night when the first round they were on stream against SPK. They were really bumping, and we have not seen that since. They haven't been doing a great job, but Tarnished picking up right where they left off. With 8 seconds to go, a 1-goal game. Reset will send this one to the right wall. Pushing forward, and they had to go all in on that one. And 1 second to go, and True, the only one with boost. Kind of think this one's over. It is. Tarnished takes game number 1.
They do here, and it, again, is low scoring for the Franglish, and that's the concern we've had with them all night. I mean, they've had 11 shots this game. So oftentimes the issue with the Franglish is that they don't really have anything on the end of their offense. This game they did, but it just wasn't like, it just didn't feel like you were never really concerned too much if you were tarnished, because the Franglish didn't put pressure on you, and with these shots, they often were just simple, clear shots, heavy shots, long shots. That's not going to beat these teams if you're the Franglish. We need to see more from them, and we need to see them be more picky about what they're going to choose to take. I think at times they've been too picky, or they've held back and didn't want to take a shot when they probably should have. And other times they've been not picky enough, and this is one of those games where they just haven't been able to find, as I said, that middle ground in shooting. They haven't found it. They just haven't found quality chances. They found chances, but they haven't made them work for them. And unfortunately for the English, it's been the issue all night. Their offense, well, their defense has been great. Their offense has been awful, and without a good offense, you don't really stand much of a chance to make it as far enough in this tournament to challenge that championship.
I mean, Tarnished winning that first game's huge. The first game is always the first hump. Once you get over that first hump, you can't sit back, but you can play a little bit differently. I feel game number 2. If you want to take more chances, you want to take more risks to capitalize and end the series, now's the time to do it, especially with a 1-0 series lead.
It's definitely a stressful position now for the Franglish. I mean, they've just been swept in the upper finals. They've come off a pretty tough loss, one that fully exposed all the weaknesses they've had tonight, and we've been talking about tonight from them, from their lack of creation to their lack of finishing. This is a big game for the Franglish. It's going to be a bounce-back game, and, well, they've bounced back already. It's a 1 for Yoko, but while we might be talking about Yoko with the goal, we got to be talking about Dre. That was not what you wanted there. A complete mistouch, and for someone like Yoko, while he hasn't had a great night, he's not missing from there.
No, absolutely not. High danger situations, and Dre gave it to him. Gave it to him on a silver platter. And that's the second one we've really seen tonight. As this one goes towards goal, Aspect up in the air and goes down, and trying to even this game was Tarnished, unable. Firing this one towards goal. Swoofy with a great save. Reset in the air. He hits a reset. Doesn't hit it though, and goes all the way back into their defensive end. Here's Dre in the air, trying to get this ball deep, and Aspect will do it for him. True. It's this ball to the middle. Reset up in the air. Goes back into the defensive zone. Dre, a great touch, and Aspect clears this ball out. True. A great touch there, goes to the corner, and Yoko will send it forward. Reset. A weird touch there, and Yoko will make a catch. A backflip there by Aspect. It's going to go out to True. True. Pushing forward in the air, and it's Aspect with a great touch. Swoofy. Back and forth ball game yet again, and only 1 goal scored, and we're almost halfway through the game.
Yeah, it is. We're nearing closer to that halfway point, but even if you're Tarnished, you're not too concerned right now because it's only 1 goal. You have more than enough time to come back. The problem with Tarnished is that they're down by 1 and they haven't had any shots so far at this point in the game. That's the concern. Hasn't been the goals, it's been the shots. They haven't even had a chance to find one in that here. And the Franglish, well, they have been a team that struggled in getting goals. When they're in the lead, this playstyle works so well for them. They absolutely love having the lead, and they are great at holding it. So we'll see if they can hold it well. Tarnished on net, though. Really weird play for Sawafi. An Aspect will score. Well, there goes my comments out the window there. Sawafi maybe panicked. He might have expected something more from Dre there. He was in a perfectly fine position, but he dumped early, and he's not going to be happy with that decision. In for Tarnished and Sawafi, who we've been talking about all night for maybe not the right reasons. Unfortunately, again, he makes his name known again for a mistake.
Yep, one game, 3:05 to go. Yoko off the ceiling. Can't get anything on that one, and that's going to go back up to Swoofy. Swoofy doesn't get anything in the air. He's going to drive forward, and are you kidding me? That goes in. A 2-1 game. Swoofy makes up for his mistake, and I don't know what went on there, but he gets.
Well, what happened here is Reset called for that play. Aspect didn't go for it because Reset must have called him off, or either that or he just didn't expect that he'd get around Swoofy in the bump play there. Either way, that's a play that you would have been surprised to see whiffed, and well, I don't think they'll be complaining having it here at the Franglish. This is again a game where goals seem to just come at a premium for them. They just haven't been scary enough, but hey, every goal counts the same. They'll take any they can get. Tonight's been rough for them. That's for certain. I think it's been rough for both these teams. But for Franglish, especially a team that I think had high expectations that they'd be in the championship and in the finals through the uppers. Well, they're going to have to earn their spot here and at least earn a game 3. No guarantees they'll be in that grand finals, even with a win in this game. And, well, they are searching for another one here. They haven't gotten very close, and with 2 minutes to play on this one, it won't take much for Tarnish to find another chance. The question will be if they can take that chance and capitalize on it, or if the Franglish can play solid defense again. And, oh, they won't do that. It's missed in the midfield, and Tarnish jump on top of it. Dre will score, and Yoko will be beside himself. He must be absolutely crestfallen because that is a play he just doesn't catch fully, and Dre's right on top of it.
Sporty, you love that caster curse back-to-back from you.
Yeah, you know, at some point, maybe I just gotta leave at some point, because it seems like whatever I say, it favors Tarnished.
As Yoko comes up, makes a great save, as we were saying, favorites Tarnished. No, they almost scored, and Yoko denies him on the play. Aspect in the air. Can't get the double. Minute and 50 to go in this game. True. What a recovery by him after the bump, and he's going to go flying away from the ball. Aspect towards net. Swoofy. Swoofy to reset. More back and forth ball here in the neutral zone. And Dre went for it and just didn't have enough boost. I think bailed last second as Yoko going up. Yoko has full possession and reset. Sends it to the wall. He'll miss, but Aspect and Dre back. Aspect fires one towards net, and Swoofy with a huge stop to keep this game even. Dre on the corner. Centering ball, the true. Reset. Keeps it in the zone here. He'll flip towards net. True. Gets it, and he'll clear this ball. Lots of opportunities, but still no goals.
Yeah, I was going to be mentioning as well, I didn't have full faith in Swoofy on that last save. He's had a bit of a topsy-turvy night. That's another save from Swoofy, though. When he is consistent, you expect him to make these plays. That's almost in. Oh, that was off the post. I didn't realize how close that had gone into the net. Swoofy still trying to find something. Maybe trying to make amends for his earlier transgressions. It will be Yoko, and it's in the net. A fake from Yoko. Franglish on top.
44 seconds to go. There's plenty of time still in this game for Tarnished, but a 3-2 goal with a minute less is always a tough one to swallow, especially how good their defense has been tonight.
54 seconds. Not a lot of time, you said it as well. And maybe a game 3 here. We didn't get to see one in our last series, but this one might have everything you're hoping for. Off the back wall will be Aspect to clear. Tarnished doing everything they can to just keep this game in their hands. They've come back from 2 1-goal deficits already. They can go for a third. True. Swoofy will just clear it away, and a bit of an aimless touch. Dre does well to handle it. Will be to the corner, though. And with time running out now, maybe one more chance for Tarnished in this game. True again. He can end it here. Maybe put the ice on this cake. Will be a reset. Dre taken back by Swoofy. Aspect won't be able to hold on to this one. It's sent away. All Franglish needs to do is let it hit the ground. They will not succeed. No, they will succeed. Dre got the touch, and Tarnished weren't ready for it. And yet again, a series will go the distance.
What a win from Franglish. A really great response. You know, 6... I apologize. They had 8 shots on goal to Tarnish's 9. But like we said earlier, shots don't really matter. It's all about quality scoring chances. And I felt the Franglish did an amazing job in that game and capitalized on as many scoring opportunities as they could.
Yeah, you still worry about the defense for the Franglish. There were a couple of mistakes. I mean, both the goals that Tarnish had were from mistakes as well. So you have worries for the Franglish about that. But the worries also go to Tarnished as well. They had 9 shots this game. And I mean, you said it as well. Quality chances. English had more of them. They made more of them, and they capitalized on more of them as well. Tarnished are going to have a lot of work to do, but we've got Game 3, and I'm going to be honest, no surprise that this series is going to Game 3. No surprise we're seeing it go the distance, and going into a game as tense as this, knowing that not only a win puts you in the grand finals, but also gets you a piece of that prize pool. There's a lot of pressure on these teams, and if you know anything about pressure, pressure usually comes with errors, and these teams have already had issues with consistency tonight. I think the winner in Game 3 is not going to be the better team. It's going to be the team that is less mistake prone.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, this has been an amazing series to watch. You're seeing a little bit of what we talked about throughout, but I will say this, you know, the Franglish, who do you have winning? I want to see what you think. Who do you have winning this series?
As I said before, it's going to be the team that is more consistent. And tonight, that's been Tarnished, I think. Oh, that's off the post. Well, Tarnished nearly trying to put some blessings on my words. But Tarnished have been, I think, been the more consistent team tonight in not making mistakes. But and both these teams have had their inconsistencies at times. Both these teams have struggled at times. Not only is this going to be a big game, you need to win convincingly! Dre's already put one in! And if they are to play the minions, you're going to need plays like that in games like this. Aspect to Dre, and nothing the Franglish can do about that one.
Nope. Great goal there. Perfect textbook play, right up in the air from Dre, hits it down, and a 1-0 game.
So much time still play in this one. And so much time for Tarnish maybe to add to their lead. Reset. Sent back by Sawuffy. Will take the dribble. It's Trey again, and he's got one left. Will not be able to get over True, but if he did, it's a goal right there. Risky choice there from the last defender of the Franglish. But it's a choice that's, well, it won't come back to hurt them here. Sawuffy, in fact, will score from this. Well, maybe the challenge from True was what they needed. It's a perfectly placed shot, and Sawuffy, a guy who maybe isn't known for goal scoring. I think he's more known for his ability to win challenges. That's a very well played shot. You're not going to get many chances like that, and if you do, you need to make it count. Sawuffy did.
What a goal there from Sawuffy. We talked about him earlier in the series. You know, he's a player we need to see step up, and yeah, while he's made his mistakes, he's still scored 2 goals in the past 3. This is his 3rd game, so 3 games.
It is, and they're crucial goals as well. That's the thing about Sawuffy. He can be a crucial player under that pressure. Aspect, though, looking to add some more. He had the assist for the first goal here. We will not be able to assist that play on reset, but another chance threatening the Franglish. Here goes the Franglish themselves. Sawuffy to Yoko. That's to the top corner. Dre didn't have the read. He'll clear it away ultimately as the shot was wide. As resets, not able to get by True. Still, ball for the Franglish here, but no one there to support him. I don't think even they were ready for that. As a long shot for Aspect, it will be an easy one for Yoko, but it's still going to keep them honest. The Franglish are going to need to be careful not to overcommit this game. Any goal that Tarnish can take on those kind of overcommits, they will be more than happy to do so in a game as close as this, and one that may only be decided by 1 or 2 goals by the end of it. 3 minutes left. It's back and forth again, and both these teams really have been able to maintain control in the midfield. What they're trying to do is they're trying to win these challenges, trying to win the middle of the field, because if you can do that, you put your opponents on a long amount of time defensively, and in a game where you don't want to put yourself under the pressure of defense, that's what you want. They won't get it, though. Reset takes the lead. We haven't had a lot of sustained offense, but these counterattacks have been deadly.
Bad play by Swoofy there. You really should not push something like that. You're the last man back. If you're going to push, you got to hit the ball, and a miss there, and no one home. It's just a corner 3 from deep. It's a 2-1 game.
Yeah, I think Swaffy's going to be unhappy about that one here. For a game that has looked pretty good for him so far, it could be, again, a mistake. As I said, I think it's going to be mistakes that will ultimately decide this game. Errors like those can end games like these against you here, but that's an overcommit for Tarnished. It is in front, it is Sawuffy, and it is well wide of the net there. He needed a good shot to beat Aspect from that distance. The shot just not strong enough, and True's in a bad position. He'll get there. Almost turned himself in the knots. Yoko will clear. And for the Franglish, it has been a game where they've been pouncing on a tightrope. They haven't fallen off yet, but you feel like it won't take much to blow them over.
Reset, last man back, great touch by him. Ball's in a dangerous position here. Yoko can't hit it. Up high at a True. True has boost here, going towards goal, and nobody home. Set up Yoko, and he wasn't ready, and oh man, a brutal miss there. Aspect gets demoed on that play, and more chaos in the zone. Yoko pushing forward. Gets on goal. Oh, what a save. Rebound. And it's True who will even the scoring of the minute 50 to go.
Well, we haven't seen much from Yoko in this losers finals. We haven't seen much from him tonight, but this game has been strong for him. His second assist. He's assisted both goals, and he's had 3 saves to boot. He's been quite an active player for the Franglish, and it hasn't been for every single game he's been active, but this one he has been. And in the game that Yoko's active in, you're just going to see a team play better. Almost gets another one there, but well read by Aspect and cleared away by Tarnished.
Here's True trying to clear the zone, and we're just over 90 seconds in the series. The winner goes to the grand finals, and the loser goes home with just some Rocket Rush points to show for it. Here's Swoofy pushing forward, gets the flip reset. It's denied by Aspect in the middle. Yoko down to the corner. Swoofy, what a touch by him, and it's denied by Reset. Swoofy's still in the air, and there's no way he can get to that ball. Here's Aspect pushing forward. Yoko clearing it to the side. True pushing right. Gets a nice touch there, and it's centered. Reset will start to take it the other way. Reset gets a flip, and oh, he grabs it, he scores! 60 ticks to go, and Reset gives them the 3-2 lead.
Yeah, beautiful from Reset. Yoko knew nothing about it. And look at that pinch as well. It's the perfect call when Swoofy is on the back wall. It's the toughest place for him to reach. Well played and well taken by Reset. 1-0 up. 1 goal up for Tarnished. A great looking solo effort, and that may just be the goal that wins this series.
Here's Swoofy clearing it deep. 53 ticks to go of Franglish's night. Franglish's night. Wow, I'm tired. Here's Yoko pushing corner here. The Franglish trying to get something. True. Centering ball, and that's going to pop over Swoofy. Dre is there, and the nail is in the coffin. 37 seconds to go. More Swoofy errors. And it's a 4-2 game.
Well, I mentioned before, we've been talking about Swoofy if he was going to be the player that would step up or all apart. It feels like the pressure has maybe gotten the better of him. The Franglish need something, and they need it soon. Desperation. Oh, it's gone in again. Oh, it's gone worse and worse and worse. 3 goals in maybe the span of, like, I don't know, 15 seconds. It's an absolute collapse for the Franglish, and it was a perfect descriptor of their night so far.
3 goals in 25 seconds. 60-second mark, minute to go. They broke the stalemate, and since then, 2 goals were scored in the final 30 seconds to go in this one. Yoko, what a great shot by him. Not that it matters. Swoofy centering this one. True. Up in the air. Dre. 20 seconds to go, and with a 3-goal lead, you got to think this one's done. This ball centered. Aspect misses it, and True got bumped into that ball. A great recovery by him. 12 ticks to go, and we're going to have a rematch in the grand finals.
Well, we were guaranteed a rematch either way, no matter who won this series, but I think it's the rematch that we were maybe more hopeful for was the one with Tarnished. They've taken down the Franglish, and I mentioned before this game, you know, how much those mistakes have hurt the Franglish tonight. It's been the mistakes again. Swoofy, who has been good at times and has been struggling at others. It's some mistakes late that have really cost his team dearly. You feel for Swoofy. He's such a consistent player normally, but maybe the pressure got to him. Maybe the day got to him. Tarnished, though, with a deserved win. 5-2, did very well to capitalize on mistakes, and credit to them as well in this series. Sure, some of the good goals came from mistakes, but some of them weren't. Some of them were really well-executed plays. So a win for Tarnished, a rematch in the grand finals, and we'll see if, like before, they can give some troubles to the Minions.
This is trophi.ai.
For the grand finals between the Minions and Tarnished, a rematch we've all been waiting for, Sporty.
Oh yeah, I said it, a rematch we have been waiting for. Tarnished were the team that gave the Minions their toughest questions tonight, their toughest tasks tonight. That was a 3-game series. That went the distance, and that was, I believe, on this channel. So the Minions did win that matchup before. They get to play Tarnished again. This time, though, it's the grand finals, and it is a best of 5, where game 1, by default, has been won by the Minions. So they'll need to win 2 games like they did before. Tarnished needs to win 3 games. So the job for Tarnished is tougher now. It's a much tougher job for them. But again, the fact of the matter is, they're in the grand finals. They get their chance for revenge. If they want that revenge, they're going to need to prove it. And game 2, where we're going to start this series, this is a big game for Tarnished. If they lose this, it's triple match point against them. They win it. We're talking about a complete change around with the series. So for Tarnished, and for any team that comes to the lower bracket, I always mention this on Rocket Rush because of how short their grand finals are. Game 2 always feels like a must-win game for the team from lowers. It isn't by technicality, but it feels like it because it's so tough to recover when you have to win 3 games straight.
I don't think I've ever seen, this is my second season here with Nameless. I don't think I've ever seen casting a team overcome a 2-0 deficit. I don't think I've ever seen it. Normally, when it was becoming a running joke whenever I'd be on, that the team would sweep. So I'd get a broom and show the broom. And that's a goal by Dre and a huge opening goal.
Yeah, we'll be here. Well, I don't think he likes to talk about brooms here. That's for certain. Dre's going to put one in for Tarnished. And he's saying, no, don't bring the brooms out. We're ready for this. And Tarnished, you'll love the start for Tarnished, that they're getting into this thing. They're getting active. They're getting antsy. They're wanting to take chips off of the minions. They look like a team that is determined to win a grand finals right now. Sure, we're maybe only 30 seconds in this thing. We've got a lot of time to see if they really mean it. But the fact of the matter is, this start for Tarnished looks good. They are a team that mentally looks ready.
Do you think the break for the minions is going to hurt them in this series?
Typically not. Typically with these teams that win the upper finals, the break isn't that bad for them, and you gotta consider how long of a night has been for some of these teams. I mean, it's been almost a 4-hour night for these teams, so realistically, I think teams welcome that kind of break. In theory, you think it makes them cold, but because of how short the lower finals tend to be, with it only being a best of 3, you're only maybe waiting at most for 30 minutes, so the break's not gonna hurt them that bad. What could hurt them though is if Tarnished can come in hot, and so far they have.
Here's Clue on the outside here, trying to center this ball, and he's unable. Dimes clears it out, and Reset will make a catch. Another demo coming out hard with the demos early is the minions.
It is. I mean, you said it as well. Clue, who's just been going all in on those demos. He's been going for that aggression. He's trying to do whatever he can to get in the heads of Tarnished. His team's down by 1 goal. They know this game could essentially, you know, shut down Tarnished for good. So they're trying to do everything they can to get in their heads and to really instill a sort of a fear for the start of this game. I mean, they have to imagine that Tarnished coming in this thing are going to be kind of confident. They kept it close before, and their win load bracket, well, it had its issues, looked really good in Game 3. They looked like the better team in Game 3, so questions to be found, but that's a beautiful play! Well, Clue will instill fear this way, but flip off the ceiling, double tapping in, and that was absolutely bone-chilling. He's going to put some fear in Tarnished from that.
Absolutely. Clue has been the face tonight for the minions, scoring 3 overtime winners and icing out Tarnished and another one of their, I believe it was their A team. And oh, what a shot by Reset! And just as fast as the lead came, the tie came, it's evaporated.
Yeah, it has, and there's the lead here. Look at how quickly Reset gets this as well, and such a tough position for Shadow because you have 2 players jumping there. Both players from Tarnished jump for that, and you don't know who's going to go for that touch, so you're just going to have to sit there and hope that it's a play that you can make a save on. Unfortunately, it's off the bar and in. There's not much you can do about that. And the work up again for the minions. They'll need another goal here, and look at how much they're doing. Oh, it's a beautiful play. It's off the post. It's a follow shot. It's off the bar, a post and out. Cleared away by Reset. Desperate to get it out is Aspect. Dre will do just that. Couple plays up the iron there. Tarnished got a bit fortunate, but they will stay in the lead for now.
Making jingle bells out of the post sounds, man. Bang, 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 right off the bat from each other. And just nothing to show for it is the minions. It's Clue pushing forward, gets a ground pinch, and it's going to go to the middle. Shadow trying to get it deep in his offensive zone. Huge bump there by Clue. Centering ball, the Dimes. And he will be unable to get it on goal. Clue going to do a full reset, take it back to his defensive zone. Before you got on, Sporty, you know, me and Hyper were talking quite a bit about the minions and their play styles, a lot of east to west plays with passing. And you saw that there, you know, setting up Shadow, trying to be really perfect on that was Clue. And unfortunately, they missed the net wide. But a lot of east to west gameplay for this team tonight.
Yeah, lateral passing is one of those playstyles that is one of the age-old playstyles in Rocket League, and I always mention about infield passing. Passing like that, it's a playstyle that if you do correctly, you're going to be successful with, and that almost was success for Tarnished. A 3-1 lead might just be this game, as I don't know what on earth that Clue's doing there. It won't go in, but you're wondering what his idea was on that play. I don't think he meant to play it in front of his net like that. I think he meant to scoop the ball up and They missed doing so, and in a terrible position. It is still on the side of the minions. Shadow sends it back. Dimes is up. He can score from here, and he's got the back wall open. Aspect will be waiting. Here goes Clue. He's got Shadow. It's another looking infield pass. This time, though, smart to it is Tarnished. They'll get the demo. And with some redemption here is Clue. He's had a couple demos this game. I'd love to see what the stat line is by the end of Game 2. How many players he's exploded. Again goes Clue. It's another demo, this time from Shadow. In fact, he's got 2 players here. Dre's going to be the only one left. He is going to be forced out by Clue. Dimes up to the back wall. It's Clue to Dimes, and it is Reset who gets there first.
A lot of trouble scoring for this Minions team. Just can't seem to get anything towards goal. Everything they've tried has been saved, and some great defense.
Yeah, I love the defense here from the Minions. It's from Tarnished, and from the Minions, they've had good defense themselves, but you said it, they have not been able to break down Tarnished. They've been able to bend them, they've been able to demo them, they've even been able to get one past them, but they have not been able to break that defense. That will of Tarnished is still very much alive, as they'll need to defend a little bit more. Dre to clear. We'll be back in from Clue. 10 seconds left. Needs a chance soon. Dimes to Shadow. Shadow! Open net tie game!
What a shot by Shadow on the outside. I don't know what went on here with, I think, Reset. He got bumped on the play. I thought he just flipped randomly, but a crucial bump. And we are tied at 2 with 4 seconds to go. And any sort of sense you had that this game was over, you are so wrong. We're going to potentially another overtime.
Yeah, we are overtime here. Tarnished may bend, but they haven't broken fully. The Minions, though, have done a very good job at just taking it. They haven't had a lot of great looks, but they have been tenacious. They have been doing it over and over again. They know these demos are working. They're going to need to work a little bit more, though, as we are in golden goal territory. Will be challenge taken by Clue. Aspect up in the air, and Tarnished maybe with the first chance. It's towards the net, but Shadow's got there in time, and the Minions right now waiting for the opportunity to present itself.
Tonight we've seen a 6-minute overtime, and it was with Franglish, and oh no, we own gold, and game 1 will even the series.
Wow, how unfortunate it is for Shadow. He's been so good this game as well. He's got a goal and 3 saves. But that is not going to be something he'll want to remember after game 2 in his own net in overtime. And it will be Tarnished, as I said, will bend but not break. And even this series, and now it's anyone's series to take. We're back to a best of 3, and we know how that went last time.
Yeah, what a great game from both of these teams. You know, the Minions evening it up with 4 seconds to go. Fortunately, it wasn't enough, and Tarnished slammed the door in overtime to even the series. Kind of like I was saying earlier, though, you know, not a lot of errors from either of these teams. Just some really great back and forth Rocket League. Low scoring game again, 3-2. But the overtime that we first watched at the beginning of the night was between Franglish and SPK, and it went the distance. It went 6 minutes. It was an 11-minute game, and I don't think SPK could recover from that loss. And you hope that doesn't happen. That's not the case here. Rough overtime loss, yeah, but you hope the team's still going to show up and play for the rest of the series.
You said it as well. I don't think this is going to be something that hurts the Minions too badly. I mean, we'll see. But this is a team that seems to be good at bouncing back from situations. I mean, they've been in situations where they've lost games. They've lost a lot of games tonight, and they've been able to bounce back every single time. So we know they can do it. They've shown us that before. But you said it. It's a different game. It's a different grand finals, and it's a different Tarnished roster that they're going to have to deal with here. This is a huge bounce back game. Match point, tournament point on the line here in game 3.
I believe it is a best of 5. I believe right? It is a best of 5?
It is best of 5, and this is match point on the line.
No, it would be 1-1, right? This is
match point is the game, if you're wondering, is the point before.
Oh, match point on the line. Okay, gotcha. My bad.
You're good.
It has been a long day, dude. This is back-to-back for me.
You've been here for 4 hours. I think you get a pass.
Cool. I was so confused there for a minute. It took me solid, 30 seconds to figure out what was going on there. And I will say something, 30 seconds has only been the case twice tonight with goals. Only 2 teams have scored within the first 30 seconds of the game, and will not be the case here in this game number 2.
No, I don't think that's that surprising, knowing what we saw last game from these teams. I think they both realized. I think they're both kind of gone into their shells a little bit, turtling up, trying to play a smart rotational game. And really, they're playing cautiously. I think taking risks at this point may not be a smart decision. You just kind of wait and let your ability do it. I think both these teams are going to be confident enough that their ability is better, is superior than their opponents. So they're going to just play a simple, clean, consistent game. But I will say, what I want to see from the minions, like I saw last game, it maybe didn't work necessarily. Every single time, but those demos last game for the minions were brutal. And well, I think they went for too many demos and probably could have been a little bit, and probably could have done a better job at only demoing in situations that were advantageous for them. Those demos are a big deal. If they keep going for them, and if they're just a little bit better at timing them, they're going to find goals off those plays.
And it's not even just the demo, it's just the bumps. Like, you don't need the demo guy. Just even a slight little bump in front of the net can completely and totally change the framing of an opportunity. And we saw that in the final second goal, final 4 seconds, a bump in the front of the net and even the game up. 4 seconds to go.
You said it as well. That was a big demo, by the way, in the backfield from one, as that's going to go just off the post there. I was going to talk a little bit about what he did in front of the net there. What he did in front of his own net there as well. Got a demo in there. Oh, that's going to go in. What on earth? Oh, it's going to be in for Aspect. I don't think he expected that to go in, but he won't be complaining. It's off of Shadow, but it's Aspect's goal.
Shadow can't catch a break with his own goals, man. That's his second one in the last 2 shots. Fortunately, the first one lost him the first game.
Yeah, you got to say it's a tough position here as well if you're Shadow, because both those own goals are not plays that he's made it by himself. They're just plays that have bounced off him. That's the real tough part, is that he couldn't do anything about it here. And I was going to talk a little bit about Clue. I mean, he looked solid that last game. I'm really looking at him. He's up here. He's going to take a goal as well. Well, I'm watching you, Clue, and this is why you show us again what makes you such a solid player tonight. If this series is going to end in favor of the minions, it's not going to be without the efforts of Clue. Every single series, he shows up.
Hey, it's funny you say that. The Caps are cursed with you tonight. That's the third one. Start talking about a player and he goes off and scores.
I think I've had more than 3 at this point.
It's awesome, bro. You got like the finger of God here, making some great plays happen. As that one goes Dre's way, and the tie again, lasting less than 10 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, this is beautiful, though. But Shadow and Cleo kind of in the same spot there. But the problem is that they're both on the back wall. I think they both had the exact same idea of going for this challenge. I think both were expecting the other to be on the floor. And by the time they realized it was already too late, Tarnished was more than happy to jump on it here. And he said it, that tie didn't last very long. The minions have not given themselves really a lot of time to take a lead in this game, to be the dominant team. And it's not going to stay that way. Tarnished looking for 3-1. Double commit there. A weak shot from Reset. Aspect looking for Dre, but he's sitting back. Smart decision there. Reset hadn't gone back to defense yet. And for Dre, although it will lose offense, had he gone, he would have lost his team a goal.
Here's Shadow pushing the wall here and trying to make something happen. Another big demo, like we were saying. The minions continuing to pound away in the box. Shadow, what a double touch. And Dre denies him in front of the net. And, you know, if you guys, I don't know if you can see game chat, but Clue hit him with the what a save, because that was such an impressive shot and a save by Dre.
Yeah, and the thing about Dre there is he did everything right at the initial part of that play. You have to jump early on those kind of shots, because if you don't, you're just leaving the top of your net open. You need to cover as much as you can. You're not going to be able to read their shot, but the fact that he's able to contort himself to be able to read that midway, I mean, that was a great play shot too. It was right behind him, and he somehow finds a way to just use his flip to get back to it. Well placed from Dre, and it's saves like those that on the surface look so easy, but they're just not. And well played from him. I mean, Dre hasn't been really a big talking point tonight, but for good reason. He's been consistent.
That's normally, if you're not a talking point, it's typically a good thing. You know, I know, especially with us, we're very, very hypocritical of players and teams, and you know, if we don't say your name on stream, it's probably a good thing.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it means you're not scoring, but it means you're also not making mistakes. And as we've seen tonight, there's been a lot of mistakes. So that's always a good sign.
A team effort, another great stop by Dre. Saving the day. Back on the play is Clue. He's going to pop this one up for dimes. And can this series turn around in the next 13 seconds? Shadow Aspect on the wall here, and he's just got to get it to the ground. And they will have a 2-1 series lead. And what a response for Tarnished. Starting the series down 1, being in the loser's bracket, and now you've got the Minions on the ropes.
Yeah, you do. And again, I mean, we didn't talk about it much, but let's talk about Dre now. 4 saves this game. And those last 2, crucial. I mean, it's that contortion save that we mentioned earlier. It's that save late as well that kept his teammate in the final moments. It's Dre who had a goal as well this game, but those saves kept his team in the lead. And you said it's the Minions who so far tonight has been the better team in these closer battles, now must win 2 straight. Tarnished from the lower bracket have found some momentum and have found some consistency for a team that we've been talking tonight needed to be consistent, needed to elevate. This is them elevating. This is a much better looking Tarnished team than we saw even in the lower finals.
Yeah, Sporty, going to the Minions now. You know, I think some Dimes and Shadow have to step up. I really feel that it's all Clue doing everything. I feel he's got 1 goal, 2 saves, and 3 shots in that game. And look at Shadow. He's got a goose egg on goals, goose egg on assists. He's got 1 save and only 2 shots. I feel Shadow and Dimes have to step it up if they want to win this series.
I just want to see more demos from the Minions. I mean, simply put, a lot of what they're doing is right, but we didn't see the demos from them that game, and we saw less work for them on offense. And I thought the demos were a great option in Game 2 for them. I thought that the demos were a perfect call. But they stopped doing it in Game 3, and that surprised me a lot. And I don't mind if it's Clue. Clue seems to be going for them the most, but everybody on that team has been able to get a demo at least at some point in the series. And simply put, for what we know that these players can do, we need to, I want to see those demos again from the Minions. It worked well before, and the fact that they stopped doing it really surprised me, because why would you stop doing something that works so well for you?
Yeah, and I think we're having a little bit of some technical difficulties here, and the game was paused. I don't think everyone was in.
We had a slight tech pause, yeah, as well. So one of the players wasn't fully ready, but I think they are just about ready now. We're going to wait a little bit longer. Yeah, they're all in, so we're good to get going back into Game 4 here. And for the Minions now, pressure on them, because for Tarnished, if they win, it's championship for them, and you cannot say they don't deserve it with the way they've looked in the last 2 games, but it takes 3 wins to take a championship here. No best of 3s now. It's best of 5 in the grand finals. And for Tarnished, it is 1 win more, and they will take Week 5. A reminder, with SBK out early, I believe that also means they take the #1 spot in terms of points.
Yes, they do. And I've never been here in Nameless for 2 seasons. I have never seen a championship series go 5. Never. It's always a sweep. So this would be a treat tonight to see one of these go 5, maybe, or if they can close it out, that'd be great too.
Well, the likelihood that teams win from the lower bracket seems to be low in Nameless, and that's because the series is so short. You don't get a lot of time to recover if you are the team from the lower brackets. Normally that you think that favors teams as, oh, this is a bunch of problems here for Tarnished. Nobody wanted the ball for a moment. But typically in these shorter matchups, you wonder if it favors the teams from the lower bracket because they're coming in with a little bit of momentum. But for Nameless, it actually typically favors the higher seeded teams. They seem to just be better. They seem to dominate, and they seem to often play against teams that they've already beaten before. That's the case here tonight with the Minions, and yet they've not been able to be the more successful team. Tarnished have been consistent, they've been qualified, and they've been great at finding the net in crucial moments. And well, they deserve this match point now. We'll see what they can make of it.
Yeah, I also think Nameless does an awesome job about giving the winning bracket team a win coming in. It means a lot, especially if that winning team wins that first game of the series. Then they're 1 away. They need to win 1 of their next 4, and it changes the whole aspect of the tournament. But now you're the Minions. You're down a game and down 2-1. Got to lock in. Got to play like you were earlier in the winner's bracket.
Will be reset with the ball. Gonna be kept back by Clue. You said that Clue has been doing a lot tonight. You want to see more from the other 2 players beside him. Reset again. Will be an easy one for Shadow. We'll have Clue behind. It's Aspect with the ball, and it's Aspect who will leave it for Dre. Not much going there. It's been a lot of challenging in the midfield. A lot of 50-50s. No real clear holding here, but there has been more chances for the Minions. And that first goal is going to be huge for either of these teams, especially if you're the Minions, having how bad the series has been. You can hold a lead, but you don't want to have to come back from one. Ray, unable to get a shot there, and I think both these teams, like we saw before, too nervous to make the mistake. They're just waiting for something and somebody quality to take those chances. Either it's Clue, or, well, we'll see who it is on Tarnished. Aspect has been quite the player to watch tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if it's him, although Reset right now seems to be the one taking charge. So the way that things are going, Clue and Reset, I expect one of those two players to get that first goal. It's just going to take a moment of brilliance.
Yeah, I'll say this too. I really don't think it's been a bad series for the Minions. Don't forget that first game they played went overtime. You lose in overtime, whatever, shake it off. Game 2, you lose by 1. I mean, 2 brutal losses only by a goal here. And I feel if the Minions could just get ahead for a game, I think they can close one out and even this series.
Yeah, that's the benefit with them having that game advantage. They don't need to be a perfect team to win this Grand Finals. I mean, they've been far from perfect tonight with how many matches have gone to 3 games. They've been able to close things out even if they have gone behind at times. So you never lose faith in a team like the Minions in a game like this, albeit we have been through 3.5 minutes of gameplay and still nobody has scored. Shots do favor the Minions 5-3, and now they're gonna add another one. It's Shadow, and while the fortune has often gone against them this series, this one will favor.
Another caster curse goal. You just said no goals, and Shadow with a crazy pinch on the wall will break the scoreless drought with 1 minute and 30 seconds to go. As Shadow coming off the face-off, a huge demo on dimes, and Shadow is going to get a second one. No, it hits the post and makes a funky bounce, and a clear for Aspect is imminent. Pushing forward here, and they're unable to do anything about it. This is a crazy game. Clue back on the play. Shadow dropping this one to Aspect, and it's going to go deep. Clue booming this one long. Here's Dimes. Can't get a touch, and it's going to go back into the zone. Dre pushing this one to the wall here. It's Shadow and Dre in a tie-up, and Aspect is tired of waiting and bumps both of them. Here in the corner, it's Reset centering this ball, and Clue is able to knock it down. Back to Dre. Now we got some back and forth going in the Minion zone. Centering this ball, beautiful center to Dre, and he's unable to get a hit. And Shadow in the corner doesn't get a hit on that one. An Aspect of the great ground pinch. That's a shot with a very low angle, and Clue gives them the insurance goal. And with 33 seconds to go, the Minions have something to say in this finals.
Yeah, they do. We may have a Game 5 after all. You've talked about how you've never seen one. I don't know the last time I've ever seen one, if I've ever seen one. They just don't happen often in this Grand Finals. You typically see one team dominate and take over, use the team from the upper bracket. But today has been a different day and a weird sort of day, that's for certain. And one where matches have seemingly been close no matter who's playing in it. 20 seconds to go at this point. A goal needed here for Tarnished. Dre's unable to find the connection with Reset. It's gonna be Clue, and it's gonna be Aspect bumped. Clue's got room. He will not get past Aspect, though. And Reset's going to chase this one down. Ball for Tarnished. Offense for Tarnished. But will there be a goal for Tarnished? It's Dre! And it's denied! Clue gets there and secures the win for the Minions. We've got Game 5, and we've got Champions Field.
This is a nutty night. This is just a nutty night. This will be there's only been one series tonight that hasn't gone the distance. And that was this first series, Sporty, you and I did. I think it was with the Minions and Frenglish and the Minions. We went 2. Minions 1 and 2. And it's been the distance all night long, and we're about to have a grand final go the distance. I've never seen it before. I don't know if you've ever seen it before, and it's going to be one of the best games we've seen tonight.
For Nameless, I don't know if I've ever seen a Game 5 in a Grand Final as well. It's just so rare to see a Game 5 in a Nameless Rocket Rush Grand Finals. And yet, here we are, Game 5 in the Rocket Rush Grand Finals. If this wasn't where the night was heading, I think we would have had some questions with the scriptwriters here. But it's Champions Field. It's one game to decide it now. Minions or Tarnished win. And you are the champions of Week 5 of the Rocket Rush. And you lead in points as well. I don't know if that's what these players are thinking about. I think they're just looking for the glory, but either way, the glory is all yours if you can win here.
Well, for this Game 5, some upcoming stuff from Nameless. Obviously, we have our Rocket Rush tournament next weekend. I believe we do. Let me just double check that. And tomorrow, if you guys are around, El Salvador has signed a deal with Nameless. We played our first games today, and El Salvador ended up sweeping the Bahamas in a pretty big upset. And tomorrow, they face off against Trinidad and Tobago on the stream here with Nameless. And if they win, they're heading to Saudi Arabia for the Esports Nations Cup. And Nameless has been given the opportunity to represent them. So pretty big game for them tomorrow. The big win against the Bahamas in a sweep that I don't think anyone saw coming.
Yeah, well, here, I don't think we saw this coming either going into this grand finals with the way that tonight has gone, though. The Minions and Tarnished are in game 5. They're looking to just get a win here. It has been a hard-fought series, a long-fought night. A shot for Shadow! Oh, it's perfect! Unbelievable! He's a special player, and that was a special shot!
What a goal from Shadow, just the flip reset off the wall, and textbook. What a goal from him. We were saying we didn't see too much mechanics, and that's as mechanical as it gets as the Minions break the tie.
Times off the kickoff will be kept back by reset. Flying high, the demo infield. It's going to be room for Shadow, and it's going to be off and still. He won't be able to get the shot clearly, but it will be Dimes again. Off the back wall. Low boost now for Tarnished. It's a tough play for them. The Minions, it feels like just toying with them right now. They didn't even go for that play. They didn't like the look of it. They moved like that, so it's just a tough play for Shadow. He's not able to connect. And finally, maybe a bit of breathing room for Tarnished. That was a scary first minute for them. I think they should consider themselves lucky they escaped with only giving up 1 goal.
Yeah, well, so much pressure from the Minions, and I think that's just the momentum from that last game, evening the series. Great job by them, and they lead by 1. Here's reset. Off the ceiling, a nice flip reset there, and Shadow able to dribble this one to the middle. Bounce off the ceiling, it's Clue, and he will get another goal. It's 2-0 Minions.
Every single time we go into a game like this, I'm just waiting to see when Clue gets on the board, because it just feels like he's inevitable. He just will score at some point. It's guaranteed to happen, and the Minions, who, reminder, went down and lost games 2 and 3 in this series, are now en route to a huge comeback in this championship. Coming in as the favorites, I would have never thought. I would have said they would have needed a comeback, and yet they are making one happen. It's cleared downfield, easily kept out by Aspect. And the Minions, well, they're up by 2. They don't need to score anymore. Of course, they're going to keep trying to, but it's going to be up to Tarnished if they have anything in the tank, anything left to say to keep this game close.
Here's Dre trying to dump it to the corner and puts it towards goal, and Dimes able to clear it forward. Here's Aspect towards the wall. He's blown up, and Dimes will get a long shot, and Dre is there, the keeper of the night. Here in Nameless has been Dre, unbelievable in goal, and you know, if this game ends now, my player of the game is pretty easy, and Dimes makes it 3-0.
I think Dimes wants to be the player of the night as well. He's been quiet at times here, but that was a really well-played shot, but you gotta give credit to Shadow. That is such a smart play. He knows where Dimes is sitting, but yet he's facing the wrong direction to pass to him. So what does he do? He side flipped onto the sidewall so that he has a better angle to hit the ball midfield. And he knows that he has the time to do that as well. That's a lot of processing in a small moment and in a quick decision, but man, Shadow stepped up this game. 1 goal and 1 assist for a player who we've been talking about tonight in relatively colorful terms. I mean, he's been a strong player as well. This is a great performance for Shadow, maybe the best he's had so far.
You have to remember also, give Clue his kudos, a bump in front of the net. That's how that, oh no, weird bounce here, and Dre went for the demo rather than the ball, and it's a 3-0 game and 120 seconds to go in this one.
And you just wonder if what Tarnished can bring here. Down 3 goals, already facing more defense. It's going to be 4 goals now. What Tarnished are thinking right now, because coming into this game 5, I think, you know, the nerves got the better of them. They knew that this Minions team was getting better and was improving and was looking to make the comeback. I think what happened with Tarnished here is they were too busy thinking about what happened to the Minions came back rather than thinking about what they need to do in this game 5 to lock down. And I think you saw it eat them up inside here, the mentality, and because of that, this Minions team has had a lot of free reign to work, and well, they may have another one here. It's a great save from Dre, but at this point, it's too late to be making saves. Tarnished need to score, and they need to score soon.
I will say this, though. This is kind of like deja vu. We've seen this earlier. Tarnished down 4-0 against the Minions and giving up 3 to make it a 4-3 game. And it was around this time with 1:30 to go. Anything can still happen. We've seen this team come back against the Minions before. So who knows what's going to happen here.
We'll see about that.
Reset, centers it to Aspect. It's cleared back into the zone to Dimes. He'll touch this down to the corner. Reset. Up to the middle, it's Clue, and they're just trying to kill time. They're doing a great job with the final 60 to go in this one. Dimes sends it deep. Clue centering ball, and oh my gosh, he even got the bump on reset. Dimes center this one's Shadow, and Aspect is able to clear, and now it's a 2-on-1 into the zone. Firing one, and he'll miss wide as reset. That's a rough shot there. You got to get that on goal. Dre in the air gets a 50, and Clue will get the benefit of the doubt on that one. Clue in the air. He's got a flip reset and no boost. He cannot pogo, and Dre will send it down into the corner. 37 seconds to go, and Shadow, no response tonight.
Yeah, it just
It's
feels
a
like
4-0 game.
it just feels like it's absolutely dead for Tarnish right now. Oh, what a save from Tarnish. There's another chance. It's going to be saved here as well. This ball is right in front of Lynette. There will be no goals from it. It just feels like for Tarnish, they've just completely shut down and given up after that fourth goal. You said it as well. Were they going to be able to bounce back like they've done tonight? The answer is no here in Game 5. The Minions, well, it may have taken the scenic route to get there. They will be the winners in this Grand Finals, losing both Games 2 and 3, recovering for quite the comeback here. Game 5, all theirs. The tournament is all theirs. It's been a hard-fought night. You would have been happy if either team had won it, but the championship will go to the Minions. As soon as this ball hits the ground, it will be official. Resets, or put it in his own nets. That will hit the ground now. The Minions will take Game 5 and will take Nameless Esports Week 5.
Unlike Minions and Monsters, the movie recently released by Universal Pictures that was an absolute bust in theaters, the Minions were the better, didn't do it tonight, did not bust tonight, and they are the champions of Rocket Rush.
I feel like there's a little bit of hatred in that comment there, almost like you've watched the movie yourself. Well,
not at all. I'm just disappointed. I guess I've always been a Minions fan, and I'm hearing these reviews. I'm like kind of disappointed. Like they're milking the series a little bit. It was just supposed to be like a metaphor, but oh well. The Minions 5-0, Tarnish's night. And who's your MVP tonight? I think it's going to be a pretty obvious decision. Say it at the same time.
It's sure, why not? I think we
3, 2, 1. It's Clue.
It's Clue. Yeah, it's Clue. Yeah, I think we both feel like Clue. He was just inevitable. He was just like the inevitable player tonight. He always found ways to score, and he always found a way to lead at times. Got to give credit where it's due, though. His teammates. You talked about how Clue did a lot. It felt like he was doing everything that series. You got to put some respect now onto what we saw from Dimes and Shadow. They stepped up huge at the end of that series, and you don't win tournaments like these without a strong team. And while Clue may have been the strongest player tonight, you have to give credit to Dimes and to Shadow. They stepped up. They stepped up in crucial games, and will share that championship with Clue as they should.
Absolutely. And we said that, if this team can play together, they're obviously better. They're better than Tarnished. We've seen it in the earlier series. If they could all show up and play well, they're going to win. And a 5-0 victory is not something to laugh at and slouch at. I mean, that's a dominant victory for the Minions. And even despite losing those first 2 games, what a comeback from them. And what resilience. And the winner's bracket, again, giving the benefit of the doubt for the winning team.
You said it as well, giving the benefit of the doubt here. Well, you said it as well, there's more tournaments for Nameless in the future. If you all liked what you saw and you want to have a chance to play, we've got 4 more weeks of qualifiers. The next one is next week. It will be actually 2 weeks from now. It will be on August 1st, but next week is actually our 2v2 tournament. So if you want the 2v2 mid-season showdown, that is next Saturday, July 25th. Next week of the Nameless Rocket Rush Week 6 will be on August 1st. And if you want to compete as well, we've got more tournaments for all of you. Next Friday, July 24th to 25th, is a Levitate Esports Monthly. Our friends at Levitate Esports hosting their first of what we are hoping to be many monthly tournaments. So that is an event you can sign up for. It's 3v3 action. It's $300 up for prizing, and it's Levitate Esports 3v3 monthly number 1. Big thank you, of course, to all who have been supporting us, to our sponsor as well in trophi.ai, of course, where you can find yourself improvements with the site that is in partnership with NRG Esports, is trophi.ai. Go there, use code Nameless for 12% off, and start improving your Rocket League skills to here as well. Well, what night it has been. Week 5, an exciting tournament. The Minions will take the win. And, of course, before we go here, Bruins boss, I feel like since you've been here all night, you deserve to have the final words. Do you have anything you want to say to close out what has been an excellent evening of action?
Just great to be back with Rocket Rush. This is my first tournament of Season 2. I did a lot of Season 1, and then summer and work got in the way, and happy to come back on a rainy Saturday and fill in for some Rocket Rush. And I will be back in September pretty much full time, so get used to seeing me because I'll be back around Nameless. And I'll be on tomorrow, so Nameless, like I said earlier, signed a huge deal with El Salvador, and we get the opportunity to broadcast all of their ENC matches right here on namelessports.gg on Twitch. And a huge upset victory today over the Bahamas, 3-0, will give them an opportunity tomorrow to play Trinidad and Tobago, where if they win, they're off to Saudi Arabia for the ENC in November. Big opportunity for us at Nameless, and it really is a privilege to be casting with you, sporting all our wonderful casters and Hyper, and I'm just happy to be back. And what a great night of Rocket League. Haven't seen that much Rocket League in a long time, and takes me back.
It definitely does. Well, right now we're looking towards the future. A lot of things happening around here in Nameless Esports HQ. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Thank you to our production from Nick NCS, and to all of you for watching. Have an amazing evening. We'll see you all either next Saturday with the 2v2 mid-season showdown, or if Rocket Rush really is where you want to stay, in 2 weeks on August 1st. Have a good night.